Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Yes, indeed. Peace up, peace up, peace up, family. Shout out to everybody who's in here and everyone else who will be coming in the room. Certified salute, Black Alpha Network. One more time. This is how we do it. FBA winning, MAY0 fatigue losing. And you can add the tether fatigue, and you can add the ops and the fleers, or whoever else you want to put on that list. You go ahead and you make sure that they know that foundational Black Americans are up and everybody else is down. And when they're down, they got to stay down, and they're going to have to bow down because we make the rules and we control everything. There's been a hell of a lot going on just in the last few days, and we're going to break all of that down all the way across the board, through and through, the way we do it right here. Anybody who wants to come on up, come on up. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Y'all know how we do it. It's a family affair, and you know it's always extra special when you're rocking with the Black Alpha Network. Let's talk about right now, family. They tripping and they falling, they stumbling, they bumbling, they wobbling, they hurting. And the reason why all of that's going on, family, simply because foundational Black Americans are on code. We living in the world right now of us being on code and everybody else having to deal with the consequences and the repercussions. If you ever wanted to know what it was like to live in a time frame where your lineage, your heritage, and your culture is winning, then you enjoy it right now. And if you want concrete receipts, go ahead and look at everybody else. Listen to them, watch what they say, and hear them all out, because you can tell they're not really comfortable with the way America's moving right now. If you look, foundational Black Americans, we good. We good. We up. We winning. We making everything happen. We on a real good path. We on a mission. We get our objectives accomplished, and everybody else is, quite frankly, just having breakdowns and meltdowns. They coming up with fake words and fake terms. They are literally out here crying in these streets, y'all. And FBA, we out here smiling. We out here line dancing. You feel me? We out here line dancing. We are unaffected and unbothered by anybody. And that's what it's supposed to be. And that's the way it's going to stay. And it's on us to keep it this way. So as they come up with these new terms and these new words, Black fatigue, what the hell is that? Let me tell you, matter of fact, I got the answer for that. Let me go ahead and say that, because I've been seeing a lot of discourse, family, and I ain't really touched up on it. So let Black Alpha go ahead and speak on it. Black fatigue really means everybody else is tired because we're winning. That's what it's really about, okay? Remember, there was no Black fatigue there in the Yes We Can era, all right? There was no Black fatigue during the Can't We All Get Along era. Notice that you start hearing Black fatigue when you start hearing Reparations generation, when you start hearing foundational Black Americans, when you start hearing that we built this goddamn country. Now it's fatigue. And I always say, if you listen to the Supremacist talk, they tell you everything you need to hear. You can hear it for yourself, family. They telling you they're tired right now. They're tired. They all want to go take a supremacist nap on a supremacist couch and just fall back and wake up perhaps maybe one day where they can get some power that they think they have back. Well, I guess they're going to be sleeping forever because it ain't ever going in that direction. It's going to stay over here. Black fatigue is just another way of them saying and them admitting that they're losing. That's what it is. They're mad that you got fathers out there protecting the honor of their sons, handling that business. Shout out to Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, indeed. They're upset that 17-year-olds are out there defending themselves. Shout out to Texas. Yes, indeed. And they're upset that we get behind these people financially, economically, socially. You know what I'm saying? We are providing our protection for the community. We're standing on business. They mad at that right now. They mad at that. So this is where Black fatigue comes from. I think they thought they ate. I think they thought they was flexing with that one too. I got Black fatigue, bro. I got Black fatigue. I'm going to put out these videos of Black folks out there. And they really are shook because none of that's bothering us. We roasting them. We clowning all of that stuff. I mean, you're going to have to come up with something better than Black fatigue. If you think, I know they're listening, if you think that's some type of cut down or that's some type of diss or that hold any type of weight in these FBA streets, you're going to have to go back to the supremacist drawing board and come up with something a little more clever. All right. The trolling ain't working. All right. All that nonsense they talking, the babbling, none of that stuff is working right now. And the fact that we are being on code, we rejecting all of it and making everybody just have to hold them L's. We've been dishing them out. We ain't been receiving them. We've been dishing them out. And we've been ruining people's careers. We've been ruining their thoughts, their beliefs, their practices. They got to go back to the drawing board, come up with a new plan, a new blueprint, come back again. That ain't working. We just sending them back. They come in and we sending them right back out, family. So that's what Black fatigue is really about. That's it. But if you want to start talking about MAY0 fatigue, I mean, simply MAY0 fatigue is admitting again that they're tired. They're just upset. I mean, they're mad that the system of supremacy ain't functioning the way they want it to. They're mad that foundational Black Americans aren't falling in line. They're mad that they can't control us. They're mad they can't dictate to us. They're mad that we out here checking them in the process. I mean, every single day I see a new video of a brother or sister, and we doing the checking. We doing the checking, we doing the record. You understand what I'm saying? So of course that's gonna make them tired because they ain't really built like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? At the smallest sign of having to put in work, you know, these people gonna fumble, they gonna crumble. They're mad, they're upset, they're tired, they're fatigued. That tethers ain't really getting off right now. You know what I'm saying? They thought the tethers was gonna come here by now, y'all. The system of supremacy design was for tethers to have us fully replaced. Okay, that's what it really was. They thought by now there'd be no foundational Black American. It'd be an African, and they up in here straight out of Zimbabwe and Nigeria, and they be coming over here talking about Africans Americans and we needs to work harder. That didn't really work. All right, and there's only so much refund money, y'all. Only so much refund money. I mean, how much refund money can you have? You done spend a lot of money on them tethers, and that ain't working. That's male fatigue. You spend a lot of money on the Republicans and Democrats. That ain't working. That's a whole bunch of paper that you're going to have to go and retract. And then now they looking at them bank statements, family, and them things done went to zero, and ain't nothing they can do about it. And foundational Black Americans are out here winning. And foundational Black Americans out here serving. How many of y'all seen that Jake Lang guy? Is that his name? Jake Lang, the guy who called into my brother Tariq. By the way, shout out to Tariq. Certified salute. Tariq was serving him up. Dude knew what time it was. He was scared. He was scared, okay? Tariq was checking him with facts. And they don't like the fact that we can check them with facts, all right? They don't like the fact that we can check them with facts. Well, if you notice, fam, that guy had to call into my brother Tariq last night, and he had to come into our spaces. He had to come up in here so he can try to get a word off. The reason why supremacists have to come into our spaces, that's not because their tactics are working. That's because their tactics aren't working. Those of us who are old enough to remember, I remember a time when the supremacists would just say things about us, falsehoods, projection, lies, and they would just put it out in media, and then they would just say it. They would just say, Black folks are this, Black folks are that. Now, ain't none of that working either. So now they got to come to us. How you got to come to the person you lying about? Shouldn't you be able to just say it? You used to do it back in the day. You used to be able to do that in the early 2000s and the 90s and the 80s, come up with all these fake statistics. Now that we've been countering all those fake crime statistics that they come up with, we've been pointing about all the crime in their community. I'm still waiting on a W and W march against WPDFing, if y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm waiting on it. Somebody let me know. Somebody tell me when they've been marching for that. You know what I'm saying? When they could be marching for all the harm they do to their women. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. And the fact that we can sit there and simply just point that right back at them, that got them shook. That's got them shook. So now they're coming into our spaces trying to indoctrinate us with their fake crime statistics, and we sending them back to MAY0 land. Everything. You think about it, fam. You got 100 different tactics of supremacy. All 100 of them have failed. So that's exactly what happened yesterday. Our brother Tariq checked them. The brothers and sisters in the space weren't going for it. And I believe I called in and chopped it up with Tariq real quick. And I had to make that point to the family to let everybody know that we up and we winning, and they got to come to us with the lies. And the times when the dominant society got to come to you and come into our spaces, hell, they come in mine all the time. They in here right now. You already know they in here listening. They in here recording. They're doing everything. You know what I'm saying? But you better go ahead and put that stuff and fast forward to the end of this space. And let me just go ahead and give you a spoiler. You gonna lose. And FBA gonna win. All right. And that's just how it is. We want to go ahead and give some predictions up in here. That's the only way we know how to do it. And we're going to break all of that down right here. And any of my brothers and sisters that want to go ahead and come on up and chop it up. But as we always do on the Black Alpha Network, we celebrate all the wins, y'all. We celebrate all the wins, all that head down stuff and what we need to do. Hell no, hell no, hell no. How you going to be in the era that's winning at an all-time high? And you walking around here not gloating about all them victories. Hell no, we're going to shape, we're going to turn up, we're going to represent, we're going to let the world know that foundational Black Americans, we are on a code that they can't get us off of. We are on a mission that they cannot stop us. They can come up with every hurdle, whatever blockade, whatever type of stoppage that they can come up with. None of that is going to work. Because let me tell y'all, if anything they could do would work, it would have already worked because they've already tried it. There ain't nothing new under the sun, fam. We causing these people to crash out, money left and right. You're not supposed to put money on the books of a parent who took care of somebody who harmed his child. You ain't supposed to do that in the system of supremacy. We did. You're not supposed to put some money on a GoFundMe page for a young Black brother that defended himself when two W bullies was trying to harm him. You're not supposed to do that in the system of supremacy. We did. So when they look at that and then we bragging about it and the money keep flowing in, man, what the hell they gonna do about it? Nothing. There ain't nothing they can do about it. They can't stop it. And that's got them shook right now. They all shook. They all shook. We're not supposed to be denouncing terms people of color, African American, minority. And to be honest with you about those terms, fam, we about what, 5, 6, 7 years deep into those terms being RIP'd? Can we be honest about those terms? There's this notion that people of color and African American, like we just got rid of that yesterday. Man, them terms been gone. Been gone. People are forgetting them. People are forgetting those terms now. It's like, what was that damn term they called us? It was like minority or something. Yeah. I remember that term. Oh, yeah, man, that been gone a long time. Oh, what they used to call us, African American or something like that. Oh, I forgot what that term was. Brothers and sisters don't remember that. Shout out to my brother Ox. My brother Ox said, people will quickly turn into what's the name again? And that's exactly what all those terms, them terms done turn into what the names again, because we don't remember. And that's the luxury and the privilege of being on code. You come up with your own terms that identify yourself. See, when you allow somebody to identify you, they can control you. When you allow somebody to feed you, they can starve you. And we eating right now and we controlling ourselves because ain't nobody feeding us but our goddamn selves, and ain't nobody named us but our goddamn self. With that power comes responsibility, and with that responsibility comes certified FBA G-checking, and they losing right now. All right, they come up with every new term. Fam, whenever the dominant society has to create a new term, that means that they're losing. All right, DEI, that's a new term. They had to come up with that stuff. And so now they got to come up with that. That lasted about 2 days. None of that stuff is working, fam. They can't come up with nothing. They got to keep going back to the drawing board, and we keep sending them back. They are out here homeless, fam. They ain't got 2 goddamn pennies to rub. They ain't got a pot in the window, throw it out. All right, my brother. All right, my brother from the D. Can you hear me, family?
What's up? What's going on, bro?
And what up, though? It's on you, family. Go ahead, fam. Roast them up.
Hey, look here, man. They got a real problem now we dealing with today, right? I was already, I've been 5 days, right? So they got a real issue with superiority complex, right? Meaning this. Okay, yeah, y'all did enslave us. Y'all did burn our towns down, but you ain't gonna do it now, though. You know what I'm saying? We can stay in the past, but we moving forward. You ain't gonna do it now. You ain't gonna touch our kids. You see how they showing all the kids at graduation? I got like y'all not. It don't matter. That's the Ivy. That's one of the best high schools in the country. Those kids are gonna run America. And guess what? You're not gonna touch them. When our kids click up and create Black Wall Streets nationwide, you ain't gonna touch them. We raising our kids to know who our enemies are. We already see the Africans and the immigrants not our allies. Would never be our allies. So what's the next option? We gonna separate, stand over here, y'all go over there. That's it. You come over here dripping, we gonna come tripping on y'all. Eye for eye, right? So we about to bump heads with them. So you think we worried about them? So they gotta deal with this new era of blackness, this new renaissance that's about to come. You know what I'm saying? So that's about it, though, bro. That's about it. I'm gonna go back and listen to somebody else talk, though.
Appreciate you, family. Appreciate you. Said it perfect, fam. All day, 100%. It's a new time and a new era. And when you got a new time and a new era, especially when you got rid of the old energy, you got to shine with it. Like my brother was just saying, all that stuff from before, that's it. That was done. That ain't coming back. New games played, ain't no U-turns. This is the new normal. Since it's the new normal, we out here really showing everybody anything that they come up with has failed. All right, we are further along in this era of foundational Black American on code certified reparations generation. We so far on now we can sit back and we can count our wins. We can count our wins and we can look at some of these victories, and these victories, you ain't really ever seen them before. These victories are all brand new victories, and it's all brought to you by the lineage. These people got to come around us. They got to come into spaces. They got to resort to trolling, fam. When somebody got to resort to weak trolling that don't land, ain't witty, ain't clever, what does that say about the grip that they thought they had on us? That means they ain't got one. That means they ain't got one. You show me somebody who got to resort to trolling, I'm going to show you somebody who's losing. You show me somebody who's packing them up, racking them up, and sending them home, I'm going to show you somebody who's winning. And you can point to us when it comes to packing them up, racking them up, and sending them home. They can't do that to us. All right, my brother Church, can you hear me, brother?
Yes, I can hear you. You can hear me.
Crystal clear, family. The floor is yours, brother.
Blessings to you, family. Man, you was in here cooking. I was just trying to go in off that. But nah, brother, I truly, I find it hilarious I don't know if the woman who tried to bring her own term, the black fatigue, up, knew this or not, but it's a book written by a black woman, Mary Frances Winters, I think her name is, in 2020, right? And it's about how racism erodes the mind and body and spirit of foundational Black Americans, right? So it talks about 5 aspects. You dig me? A cumulative impact of racism, mental and emotional strain, physical health consequences, trauma, and then workplace fatigue, right? So while this woman running around here thinking she's eating, creating up new terms and saying, I'm so fatigued by Black people. No, what you're not Black fatigued. You're actually the cause of Black fatigue. So these people are not original. And once again, you see the same way they tried to take woke, the same way they tried to take conscious and all this other stuff. They're trying to do it with this. This time, I hope the woman sue. She got a copyright on that book. Let's keep it 100. Take her to court. Wipe her for everything she got. I'm tired of walking around seeing mayo all over the floor, seeing fentanyl all over the place, meth dropping out of people's pockets. I'm sick of it. I just want them to clean themselves up. You know, we need to do something about the fatherless homes. You know, I'm just sick of tired of seeing a fight after at a graduation or at a football stadium or at a park or anywhere, just at a pool, anywhere there's beer. I'm tired of seeing it, and it needs to be cleaned up. It's very important that we figure out how to clean this up, because I am very, very male fatigued. I need therapy. I need therapy. My life has been in shambles because everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, it's the same old, same old. But our brother made a wonderful point I want to touch on as well, when he brought up the children, build up the next generation. And I love that, because to keep it 100 with you, none of the stuff that held us back, say, you know, Pan-Africanism and things like that, none of that stuff they're going to trust at all. They ain't going to believe none. At this new generation, thanks to TikTok, they got all the evidence. They got all the receipts. They know scam Africanism ain't real. They know that they can't work this person or that person because they've been online talking greasy about you. You know, like this generation is going to be one of the best generations, in my humble opinion. But I throw that back to you, my brother.
Oh, damn right, brother. That's a good point. What people got to realize is that when we do G-checking and we make receipts and we put them on the table, a receipt ain't just for us. A receipt is for the future. So the next generation going to understand exactly who the boule is and how the boule is always undercut us. Tethers, how these people come from every other background, can't get their homeland popping, and they try to undercut us. Imagine growing up in a time frame where you didn't have to grow up dealing with tethers. You understand? See, we had to correct the tether problem because Black folks back in the day was allowing these people to fester. Now, these folks can't fester no more. So the next generation, they don't have to worry about somebody coming here from Nigeria hating on foundational Black Americans. A lot of Black folks didn't know what the hell a cotta meant until they was in their damn 30s and 40s, because scam Africanism, tetherism, that was something that was under the table. That was something that was real quiet. Hell, we didn't even have the term tether. Tether wasn't even a term. Notice how much they hate that term. Tether is the most hated term in the English language because it G-checks every goddamn body. Everybody can get some of that tether smoke. But the previous generations, when they grew up, they didn't ever have to deal with the knowledge that we've had. Now we got knowledge, so we understand who these people are. And history is going to remember who was on our side. History is going to remember all them scam Africans that was sitting on our reparations panels. History is going to remember all the people saying we don't deserve an anti-Black American hate crime bill. Go vote blue no matter who. Things that we had to solve and figure out as we got older, the younger people are going to have solved already when they come in the game. And that's the ingredients for hitting the ground running. So if they hitting the ground running, well, we had to speed up slowly and then start sprinting. That means that they're going to have that head start above everybody else from all these other communities. And that is the certified way. But what people also got to understand, fam, is the system of supremacy and all the ops in it, they're all going under a rebranding stage. Everybody has to rebrand, all right? Because in the system of supremacy, when things function in a way that benefits the system of supremacy, everybody understands the way it is, how it operates, and go along with it. Now, all these people, they got to change it up. They got to change it up because the old ways ain't working no more. The old ways ain't working. All these people who come around us with all that disrespect, they understand now that that disrespect don't work. So they got to come back, come up with something different. We send that back. So it's a powerful thing, this regulating that we've been doing. It's a powerful thing, this standing on business that we've been doing. Not only does it yield results, it gives receipts. So the next person can say, oh, okay, that's scam Africanism. I stay away from that. Oh, that's the boule. Okay, they don't rock with us. Okay, these people favor these immigrants above us. All that stuff that the Obama era was talking about and the Bill Clinton era, whatever goddamn era before now, all of those type of talking points, those myths, those misnomers, all of that stuff is canceled. And now that that stuff's canceled, anybody who used to lean on that and they needed that so they can fool us, what do they got now? They ain't got nothing. I told you, they ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. My brother Black Truth United. It's on you, family.
Salute to you, Brother Black Alpha, Brother Church, everyone else here in the room. Man, I love this. This is a great time to be alive, seeing them claim black fatigue. What they're really saying is that we're wearing them out, that we're actually getting to them, that we're actually breaking through the barriers that they set up, the obstacles that they've put in our path. And what they're saying is, hey, we're starting to be uncomfortable. You're making us uncomfortable. And just as a couple of people in the Black grassroots say, hey, if we can't all be comfortable, we're all going to be equally uncomfortable. So, you know, if you're fatigued, if you're worn out, if you're tired now, if you're, you know, feeling heartache and whatnot, dealing with us, then good. Let's keep it that way. And in fact, let's turn up the temperature. You know, let's add more pressure, more, you know, fatigue to these lame trolls and who think that they can forever rule over us in an evil manner. Yeah, we're all tired of these clowns. We're tired of the system that they created, them dominating all of the 9 aspects, arguably, 10 aspects of daily life, just everything, the legal field, the education, the entertainment, everything's in their favor. Everything, gives them benefits. The DEI stuff that white women benefit from, we're tired of it. And, now we're pushing back and they can't handle it. They can't handle it. So this is a great time, and let's keep them fatigued. Let's keep them worn out. It's almost like, when a prisoner, a spy or something is captured, and you, in order to break them, keep them sleep deprived, keep the lights on them, keep the temperature extremely cold or extremely hot, make them sweat. Let's make sure that, they reach their breaking point. And with that, I'll land.
Good point, family. Let's keep that pressure all the way up. Let's go through the hands, though. Mark Carter, it's on you, my brother.
The first thing I want y'all to do is thank us as y'all big brothers and big sisters, the ones old enough to be your parents, for giving this information out that it would have took your lifetime to learn. And it was our responsibility to do so. So I'm not saying it in no way other than the fact that we were supposed to do this, right? But remember this part more than anything. The system of America was not created by any type of white people. The system of America was created by Black Americans. Everything about America, every invention, the first towns that were built by Black Americans. Please look into the history of the 2,000 and 3,000 Tulsas we had. See, we know about Tulsa, but we don't know about these other towns. Whether they were in Miami or Tennessee or all over the country, we had these communities. and the insurance companies during slavery. One but a few of them. It's always been a few of them. Still to this day, they're less than 1% of this country. They don't have numbers. And the rest that came as a result of our actual great uncles and great aunts. So when y'all having conversations with them, remind them, we saved you, we freed you. So tone down when you're amongst us. And I want y'all as young people to know.
Respect. Who else we got? Church, you want to chime in, and then we can go through the rest of the hands.
Our brother, Black Truth United, was speaking on when he was talking about what they're really saying. And I really had to think about that for a second, because when you really think of, they don't have black fatigue at all, right? Because look how excited they get whenever they presume that they're invited to the cookout, when they got a black friend where they can go around them all the time. Oh, I love my black buddy. That clearly states, matter of fact, look at that little trend they was doing, gingers are black. That some numbskull gave them the card. They were all online crying. I always knew I had a connection to you guys because I'm fully growing up and you guys had y'all struggles, so I knew that we linked. There was something about you that I just knew I was black. Come to find out, it's true. Anytime they get in proximity to us, they act like it's the most wonderful thing in the world. So what are they saying when they say they got black fatigue? Well, that means that they're like, they really hated to see. Remember, they used to always say, don't be no uppity Negro, right? Oh, we're the most uppity Negroes. We're calling everybody out. We roasting folks. We hitting them with history, cold facts. We're certifying and solidifying our ties to this land. They can't say nothing to where we can just pity off into the corner like, okay, you right, man. So you right. Nah, we over here kicking in doors on them. And whether they like the facts or not, we're dropping those facts. So they're seeing us as that uppity Negro from way back when that they saw revolution in. I just wanted to drop that.
Damn right, brother. Hey, I always tell people, what happens when we do the G-checking? What happens when we do the dictating? That is in direct contrast to the system. And the system ain't working because we are the ones in full control. And God damn it, I love it. It feels real good. Let's go through the hands, though. Steve Capone and then the real Lisa.
All right, my beautiful black people, Big Brother Alpha, room, salute, certified, and yeah, I love what's going on. The energy's real, but allowed me to have a little altar call moment because I was addicted. You know, I had an addiction to Pan-Africanism, you know, until I found my people and really woke up to find out who we really are. Shout out brother Mark, you know, he always spitting hot fire. I love listening to that brother. But yeah, the Vanguard's out here holding it down for the lineage. I appreciate y'all. Brother Alpha donation coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Your work is, you know, impeccable, my brother. You know, same with everybody else who really out there putting their foot to the system. Shout out brother Hinton. You know, all gas, no brakes. You know, we got our methods too. So with that being said, you know, we have to make sure the younger generation, you know, don't have to fight the fight we fighting. You know, and like a brother said earlier, brother Mark said earlier, it's our duty, you know, to make sure they don't fight this fight, to make sure they have a way to grow, because these people are people we cannot reason with. Been doing in the past, but like you said, the times is changing. We putting foot to ass and asking questions last. But with that being said, love, peace, reparations, delineations, and deportations. We gonna get our land back, my people.
Certified salute, family. Much, much respect. All damn day. All day. Yeah, I like that, family. I like the way our brother put that. Matter of fact, I'm feeling the energy from everybody. I'm feeling the energy. You notice, fam, we control our zones and we control our spaces. Anytime somebody come in here with that real feeble, shaky, flimsy energy, well, I don't know what to do now. They got to go. They got to go. No tick for tack, no back forth, hit the dough. You can't come here. This is only the strong. Only the strong exists. operates within these boundaries, within these borders. And y'all notice the results, they looking mighty good right now. Real goddamn good. But let's keep the hands going. Let's keep the hands flowing. Anybody want to come up? Come on up.
Good morning, family. Just give me 1 minute. I'm talking to my neighbor upstairs. I need to talk about it. Just give me 1 minute.
Go ahead. Take your time. In the meantime, go ahead, Mark Carter. It's on you, family.
So now the next step is ownership, right? Because you look up and you be stuck in the mad and marching mode for 10, 20 years, talking black but ain't building no communities. So we got to go back to what our great grandparents were telling us. The few of us that got a chance to meet them, and the things that our grandparents passed down to us that seem to skip our parents baby boomers, right? See, our grandparents told us to own. They didn't say go and get a good education and get a good job. That's not what our grandparents said. That's not what they showed. They owned. And I wish y'all were old enough to have been around to see how much ownership all the way on up into the 70s and 80s. I mean, you're talking all the businesses. I mean, things that a young person would ask, I mean, was that real? Yeah. We don't know what a white school teacher looked like. Those of us that were born in the 70s. We had black teachers. And I don't mean no black Greek teachers. I'm saying black teachers that love black people first. And they wasn't ski-weeing and barking. They wasn't doing none of that. And the few that were, they sure concealed it. They kept it over there. And so this is about us going back to black ownership. We built this country. So we don't care what type of fatigue or whatever some descendant of those that came out of slavery. We don't care what you're feeling. Keep it to yourself. Anybody that came here after slavery, and we fed them. Don't let them forget it. When y'all talking to them, don't ask them about, well, what you think about reparations. They ain't your business. It ain't their business what they think about reparations. They're gonna pay whether they want to pay or not. When you came here to eat off the backs of the work of our people, who are you to question us? And then come on up to these Africans, these Caribbeans. You came over here eating off of what our family fought and died for and built. So don't come over here with your arrogance. And I don't care how much education or what position they acquire, they still beneath you. And keep them in their place. I don't care if they're doctors. I don't care what they are. There's nothing over here that will make you more successful than us. I don't care how much money you got. And that's what we must learn. It's really more so on us than it is them. And we didn't get that from the cowards that have been leading. Don't ever forget, no matter what they acquire, what level of education, how much money they accumulate, it all came off the backs of what? Us making cotton king, right? Even Wall Street, the first commodity in this country was slaves. Then came cotton, and then came Wall Street. So remind them of that.
Hey, hold on. Hey, I got that one out, bro. That was a damn good one right there. When it come to reparations, I got a quote you. I'm paraphrasing, family. When it come to reparations, why we having any back and forth with these people? You damn right, brother. You damn right. Folks want to have a elongated discussion about reparations for people who don't even qualify for them. Hell no. That right there, family. Shout out to you for that one. Church, go ahead, and then we'll give it to Lisa.
Yeah, I was actually about to do the exact same shout out, family, because this is one thing that I tell people all the time when they're like, well, majority of the country don't approve of reparations. And I'm like, why should I care about that? To keep it 100 with you, they don't care what anybody thinks when they were sending money over to Ukraine. They didn't care what anybody thought when they was putting all that money into illegals, putting them in hotel rooms, getting them some walking around change and all that other nonsense. So I don't give a damn what anybody says. And why should I care? If you think I should, you have to give me a good reason. Give me the same reason why you look at the approval rating for when they were sending money over to the Ukraine, and it was really lower than people who actually believe in reparations. But why were they sending it over there if it was all about approval? Let's keep it 100. What they're doing doesn't make sense. Y'all didn't care about anybody else. The approval rate for the Native Americans or the so-called Native Americans didn't care. They got paid. For the Japanese, didn't care. They got paid. Hell, people in Cambodia was getting paid. All through the U.S. aid and all that other stuff, nobody cared. Let's go.
Hey, look, I just want to say this last thing because I'm finna jump on this Harley Davidson and ride. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all notice, those that oppose immigration in 99% of the cases are immigrants. These other groups that y'all see come out against reparations, these are the immigrants that came after slavery. Go look at all those attorneys that's challenging even that black woman's program that the bank was affording them. Those are immigrants. When I mean immigrants, I'm saying to you all, they are immigrant first and America last. These are immigrants who feel like my family didn't own a slave, so why should I have to pay? And we're not asking, this is not up for discussion. That's how y'all talk to them and deal with them. Watch them get in their place when you talk to them that way.
Hey, that's 100 right there. And that's another great point right there where you said that, honestly, just because you're here, you're going to pay reparations. Your tax money goes to the government and the government owes reparations. So as a citizen, you chose to come to a country that owes a debt. You don't have any control over how those tax dollars get spent. That's how that works. You can't contest that if you move to Germany. So what makes you think on any grounds that you can move here to a country that owes a debt to foundational Black Americans and then dictate whether or not you want to pay that debt? If you didn't want to pay that debt, you should have stayed where you were, or you can go back to where you were. But as we all know, they use where they came from as punishment. I've seen the video where this African lady was talking to another African lady and told her how her daughter or her children don't believe that they're the only children, that they left children back in Africa because they were being good. So every time they see a random African on TV, she's like, oh, look at June June. See, she could have came if she would have just been good. And says she looks at her daughter. Like, this is the type of stuff that they scare their children with. So we know they don't want to go back. So my advice to all of them, to all you tethers, sit down and just pay your taxes. Because when the reparations get paid, and they will get paid, you don't have to like it. You don't have to love it, but it is going to happen. Let's move forward, family.
Hey, there's an old term. It's called like it or not. Like it or not. And that's the type of time we on. We've been on that like it or not energy, okay? So they ain't got to like it. No, everybody got to remember this as well. Immigration, it worked both ways. So as you come, you can go. That's just how the game is played. Cotton Club, it's on you, family.
Thank you, brother Black Alpha. Man, I respect your work, man. I love you, brother. I just want to address the topic of the room with these minions. See, when I think about the term minion, I think about the supremacists. I know the brother didn't want to use the term, but, for replacement terms, we'll just use it. I think about that. The manufactured talking points that they use. Black degeneracy, that's a big one. Black on black crime. The constant brain drain that sends us in a constant circle of debunking these people. It's a constant putting back into order what they seem to disrupt and destroy. The constant dismantling of myths, wet dreams, and fantasies of Black criminality and Black fatherlessness. It's a constant, recycling on that hamster wheel. Every time these people come up, it's almost like they live in a fantasy world. They just decipher these twisted concepts of Black people in their little bubbles. So yeah, male fatigue. I respect that and I love that, brother, man. Keep doing what you do.
Much respect, brother. Certified salute to you, family. Certified salute. Absolutely. And people got to understand the reason why they are so upset right now is that they need to make what I call Blackizations. They got to put some type of criminality or degenerate behavior on somebody else so they can get their supremacist satisfaction. They could always say it's somebody else. It ain't us. Well, now we've been pointing out that it's really them, and it's always been them, and it's undebatable. They don't know what to do with that. Everybody right now is shook, and I use that term wholeheartedly, and I say it with conviction. They all shook right now. Shook meaning they don't know what's coming next. They don't know where to go. They ain't got no game plan. It's just the same old, outdated terms. They're running around here putting new words on things they've been saying. See, when it comes to FBA, there ain't nothing new under the sun. We done seen it all. We done seen it all. We ain't these goddamn tethers who come over here and pretend to not know supremacy and go out on the date with Becky and then disappear. And by the way, what the hell's up with all these black tethers who go on dates with Becky's and never come home? I mean, they out here living straight up a tether horror movie. It's Tether Kruger out in these streets for them damn tethers. Bad news. But that's what happens when you come over here and you want to be next to the dominant society. We told everybody that immigration is about proximity. These people want to be close to them W's. That's really what it's about. I don't give a damn about people coming around and saying that immigration is trying to flee persecution or find a better place. No. They over there in they damn village, in they homeland, and they watching all of these run around, and they go to sleep at night and have dreams about living next door to one of them. That's what it's really about. And then when they come over here, they want to come down on FBA so they can get rewarded with some type of brownie points. Us being on code, we done nullified all of that. We done put a wrench in that whole game. So the brownie points that they thought that they were going to get, they're not getting them at all. It doesn't work. And matter of fact, in return, they going home now. So we've been wearing everybody ass out. They want to throw around fatigue. Fam, the people who throwing around fatigue are the ones who are tired. They tired. They don't have nothing to do. They ain't got no different ways of getting a fake victory. They try to come up with the fake victories. Them ain't work. So what is left for the dominant society is just following what foundational black Americans are doing. We are the ones in full control. We done got rid of all their puppets, their minions, and their mascots, all the tethers. They ain't working. You get your average supremacists. I don't give a damn what region, state, town, county they come from. They not getting anything popping right now. We the only ones keeping the lights on. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really nothing popping without that FBA energy and soul. And they hate the fact that the people they cannot stand are the ones that determine their future. And we just showing out in the meantime and in the process. My brother Church, let me ask you a question, brother, since I got you on the stage, fam. I want to ask you this.
Yes, sir.
You've been seeing right now, fam. I know you've been watching it. You brought it up earlier about the whole ginger thing. This is what they're trying to do. Can you allude to how we've been checking a lot of these people? I seen people running around saying this person is black. Now they trying to say the Pope is black. All of that stuff, family. Allude to how we've been checking all of those people and not allowing those fake myths to get off the ground.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, family. These folks are getting so upset because they're using a lot of folks who got dark skin to try to push this nonsense. And they're even getting checked left and right. And now what you're seeing is people coming back apologizing. No. Don't apologize. Just know what you did was caught up. These folks were pushing this like it was a psyop. You dig what I'm saying? But we've been out here left and right. I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw this woman who got on there. Well, this dude who got on there with this woman who was this mother and said, since gingers are black now, my mother's a strong black woman. No, you're a Nabisco. You've always been a Nabisco. If you ever upheld the system of supremacy, don't ever talk about you a black man. Don't ever disrespect a real black woman like that. They wanted to jump 10 toes into the delusion and putting them right back into their place. And they can't stand it, especially the gingers. When you tell them, I don't know what told you that, but you ain't black. You don't come from no black lineage. And the thing that pissed me off the most was the fact that they tried to tie in indentured servitude to slavery. And I had to let them know, show me the indentured servant that literally had their children taken and put into indentured servitude. Show me the indentured servants that had breeding farms. Show me the indentured servants that had whips and chains and all this other scar marks on their backs like we got. Show us the indentured servants that had their babies taken and using that alligator bait. If you cannot do that, do not connect anything to slavery, because there's nothing on this earth around the world that was like the slavery that happened to us. So family, That's my get down. And I know that's been Alpha's get down. I know that that's been brother Tariq's get down, chopping this narrative down left and right because it's ridiculous. They're so excited to hand out this black card when they're barely black themselves. A lot of these people that, and this is my theory, but we ain't letting none of that ride. Like I said, they act so excited. Invitation to the cookout. So all this black fatigue stuff is absolutely nonsense. They just hate the fact that we're calling out and chopping all of their narratives down, left and right and left. All you're seeing is MAY0 getting slung left and right and left, and they don't like it. Especially like Brother Alpha said about the facts that we're calling out. You're the ones that's really doing all the crime in this country. You have like the highest percentage on everything.
This ain't nothing but these people trying to get back at the Carmelo Anthony situation. This is supremacist financial literacy classes that you putting each other through. Basically harm a foundational black American, say something out of line to a foundational black American, and you become a millionaire. See, they're upset by the very fact that we were standing on business when it came down to our brother Carmelo, and we've been standing on business when it come to everything. We out here in the streets, family. You don't see them videos like you used to see 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. You don't see us just getting ran up on. And if a brother or sister is getting ran up on, they not certified. They not one of us. It's probably some Democratic shit or somebody like that. So they're mad right now that we don't flip the script. The person who which one time was the victim is now victorious. The people who used to be getting G-checked are doing the G-checking. The folks that was out here getting regulated are doing the regulating. Shout out to Nate Dogg. But this is where we are with it right now. So we seen the way this whole thing played out, and you're seeing them donate money and more money to all of these people out there. But I want to make it clear. We're going to make this straight. The dominant society plays both sides of the argument, and they're going to be pretending that they so upset at this situation, but deep down inside, they applaud it. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to frame everything, because you already know somebody does something out in the open, and then you got all the dominant society who behind the scenes, they be clapping, they be cheering, they be standing with it, they be standing for it, they love it, they promote it. That's what they always do. And I'm already seeing, just going through social media, you're seeing two types of people. You're seeing the overts and the covert. Me personally, I've been trained to see a dominant society member act like they're upset at any type of injustice, but deep down inside, y'all know they be high-fiving. They be high-fiving, because if the good folks could ever stop the bad folks, they would have done it a long time ago. Because you can't have allegiance with somebody who don't want none with you. You can't have allegiance with somebody that's focused on their own opposed to everybody else. You can't have allegiance with the oppressor. That is a direct contradiction. A direct contradiction. When these people are out here now, and like they've always been, coming after our kids, fam, this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. And another thing we're going to dispel today is this whole thing where black folks be saying, oh, see, now it's out in the open. Now this is Trump's America. Family, only difference is today, family, is that they got cameras. And the cameras is recording these things and it's being documented. And that's something they don't like. They don't like the fact that we got this stuff documented and we seeing it and we doing something about the documentation. And they would just be like, oh, well, you know, it is what it is. That's just how things go. Nah, that ain't how things go. It's a different game. It's a whole different play. So since we moving in our own way and we're doing things the proper fashion, now you're seeing these people falling out and crashing out. As I was saying about Carmelo Anthony, when you look at the Carmelo Anthony situation, he was either going to be Carmelo Anthony of 2025, or he was going to be Trayvon Martin of 2012. What's the difference between 2012 and 2025? On code community. Trust and believe, family. Trayvon Martin would be alive right now if we were on code like we are today back then. Wasn't no waiting on Barack Obama. Can Obama come save us? We need a friend. Hell no. None of that stuff is going on. They trying to get to us. They trying to, raise money and raise funds. They don't like the way that we did that. You got to understand, family. When we came out and we stood on business for Carmelo Anthony, which we still are, okay, just because that subject and that story kind of goes low, don't think that a lot of things ain't happening behind the scenes. All right. But the very fact that we stood on that goddamn business and we was putting our money together and we were practicing group economics. See, they practice premises economics. And that's the big difference between us and them, family. Let's keep it a buck, okay? And I don't want to hear nobody talking about some of them, 22%, 5%. I got 3 good friends. Damn all that. We already know what it is, and we already know how these people are operating and how they moving and how they functioning. And it is not to make friends, allegiances, or allies with us. So we have to continue to do what the hell we've been doing. Don't it feel very damn good, y'all, to be independent and be on our own? Look at the results that we've yielded being on our own. Look how we moving right now, doing our own thing. You can't sit here and tell me that us delineating hasn't yielded results. We done got more results now than we've already had in the last 60 goddamn years, because we simply are just staying away from that crowd. We sitting here over here on our own island doing our own thing. And now look how every subject that we're into is being pushed, and we're starting to see results come in fast. So they can sit here and they can have all types of breakdowns and meltdowns. They can donate all their money, because at the end of the day, all they doing is just doing what they do any goddamn way. This is what they always do. Oh, big shock. The dominant societies spending money amongst themselves. They do every goddamn thing amongst themselves. So it ain't nothing new, and it's not a shocker to see the way these people are portraying themselves. It's the same thing. Ain't nothing new under the sun, family. Ain't nothing changed but the numbers on the range. You understand? So be cautious of these people who are in the background and they pretending to be allies. They'll do things, fam, like send out somebody to say something, and then they'll send out somebody else to give you the other side of the argument, so it can look like they all down and it can look like they're all on the same page. Nah. You always go far in life, family, just simply staying away from that crowd, staying away and standing on your own too, on your own business. The very fact right now that they got to go to these restraints because they can't come after us. Remember that. Quite frankly, the communities broke down to this: those who are counterfeits and those who are certified. That's basically what it is, family. And the certified portion of our community has grown, it's gotten stronger, it's gotten bigger, and it's pushing right along. And they don't like that. They don't like that. This is going to be a real one this summer. They don't like the way that we pushing. They don't like the energy we got. They don't like the wave that we have created. It's a wave now where they looking, okay, well, how can I come after these folks? Foundational Black Americans, fam, we up one. We up one right now. They don't like that. We up one and we winning. And when I say we winning strong. I'm going to put this clear to everybody out there. When I say Black Americans forever, don't get it tangled, don't get it twisted. That's exactly what I mean. Delineation ain't continuing. It ain't on its way. Delineation is already here. And it's not just from tethers. It's not just from the Democratic Party. It's from everyone who is not us. Even if you are of the lineage and we have delineated from you. Separation. I always say you get your separation, you get your regulation, then you get your reparations.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick. You know, I want to say congratulations. I want everybody to pat themselves on the back, you know, because this is the new Black Renaissance. Whether you know this or not, this is the era that we're in right now. We are in the era of the new Black Renaissance, and our delineation is showing us exactly who we don't need to come along with us during this era of the new Black Renaissance. Oh, I want you guys to pay attention to this as well. The closeted WS, they're in a civil war with the loudmouth WS, because the loudmouth WS is running around here making the WS all together look like cowards. Whenever you got to attack a child, especially a special needs child, you're a coward. When you go around putting your money on a person who did such a thing, giving your money to that person, you're a coward, and a coward appreciative. I want to read something real quick to you guys. This is from the Newsweek article speaking about this same thing. I want you to hear about the people who is actually donating to her. This is a quote. It says, "We are all fatigued and know that rather than changing their behavior, minorities insist on trying to police our words." Donor Elijah Schaefer wrote alongside of a $650 donation. And in case you don't know who Elijah Schaefer is, he was who went after Haley Bailey for her performance in The Little Mermaid. He's also one of the so-called journalists that was released from The Blaze. So when I say that these cowards are showing themselves, and then the closeted WS, they're getting very upset about it, just know it's happening. It's going down. But I'll leave that back to you, family.
Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. Y'all got to remember, the dominant society, supremacy, they make a hell of a lot of mistakes. A hell of a lot of mistakes. They've always made mistakes. The only difference between then and now is we take advantage and we exploit all the mistakes that they make. Every last one of them. See, back in the old days, these folks be slipping, falling, face planting. And black folks will just sit there and go along with it. We don't do that. We say, oh, we're going to call you out. We're going to frame you. We're going to spotlight you. We're going to highlight you. We're going to make your name dirt in these streets. And if you look, fam, their name is dirt in these streets. Like my brother just alluded to, you got this overt versus covert. You got this open versus closed. You got the ones who want to be out there and put it on Front Street. And then you got the other ones who want to hide. You know why? It's because when you're dealing with supremacy, we do not put it in boxes. We do not put it in frames. We do not put it in the regions or religions. We call them all out. One big supremacist. That's the way we see it. And when you see it as one big supremacist, you get the job done. And that's why we're getting the job done right now. And I'm going to tell you right now, speaking of getting the job done, let me go ahead and give everybody a spoiler and we can fast forward this movie, okay? The movie is, if you think you're going to be running up on Black American this summer, next summer, in the fall, winter, spring, it ain't happening. Everybody sees it. Everybody's falling in line right now, okay? Because we're very energetic people. Okay, foundational Black Americans, we're very vibrant, energetic people. We move with a certain spirit. And now we got the spirit of, we ain't taking no. Now I'm going to have to edit my own self. Goddamn, Black Alpha. Slow down. But you go get your
shit out.
You know, family, you already know, man. You go get your beep, okay, if you come across this line. And that is the energy that we putting out. And let me tell y'all how powerful and how potent that energy is. That's the type of energy that have everybody hitting U-turns. All right, I'm going to go get with that Black American sister. Nope, U-turn. I'm going to go get with that brother. Nope, I'm going to go get with that 17-year-old teenager named Carmelo. Nope. And that's the way we got to put out this energy. And we've already been doing it, y'all. It's a beautiful goddamn time. So spoilers to the film, y'all. That is at the foundational Black American brother. Extra good. The foundational Black American sister, extra good. The foundational Black American babies, extra good. So you better say them slurs, but you better keep them as words. My brother Church, you can go ahead and elaborate further on that. Then we'll get to the hands. But go ahead, my brother. It's on you, family.
Appreciate you, family. One of the things that I love about this whole movement right now is the delineation as well as the deportations. And I know that this kind of don't flowed into this situation, but it absolutely do. And the reason why I say this is because I always tell people all the time, this black and brown nonsense is always going to put a target on our children's back. Now, this is the same thing that I say about the WS Society. We need to be out here making sure that our kids are prepared, watchful of these same type of people. We need to make sure that we put boots to the ground and protect the next generation, because without our next generation, guess what? That's the whole dang situation. If they can remove our generation, then their next generation will be able to succeed and thrive. That's the problem that they don't want. But trust me, they're going to see it. The same way that we got out here and made sure that this generation became what it is today, so will the next generation, and so will the generation after that, family. But we'll go on.
All the way live, family. All the way live. Let's go ahead and go through the hands, fam. Anybody want to come up? Come up. Let's go to work.
What up, though? Hey, man, look. Y'all notice it's a problem. Like, if you look at all the so-called shit in America, right, the black-on-black so-called type of violence, you know, that's a message, folks, that, hold on, wait. So now everybody's violent now. You notice that's not, excuse me. You notice that stuff now? Everybody's violent now. We got to protect America. So you want to protect America because you can no longer bully your generation. This generation can't bully this generation of blacks. Like, if you go back 100 years ago, where them generation of whites were bullying those generation of blacks. You know what I'm saying? You see how everything is going around since now that we're able to defend ourselves, it's a problem now. You know what I'm saying? And now this reparations thing is on the flow, because I'll be going to the reparation hearings up here in Detroit like a mug. You know what I'm saying? We got all the immigrants and all the Pan Africans off the stage, flat out. We got them all just excommunicated. You know what I'm saying? So, but you notice that since we're able to defend ourselves, it's a problem to their future. You know, I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? So they know the reparations about to come through, and they know that they won't be able to defend ourselves and to attack us, and they know that they won't be able to use us as labor anymore. If you follow me, that's why all the automation stuff is going on. That's why all this stuff is going on. That's why I try to bring them immigrants over here real quick. They found out the immigrants came over with their own plan. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like being a superpower over us in America, you know what I'm saying? So what all folks got to do is just pay attention to what's going on, especially on these apps, because you hear all these people coming in and trying to diffuse and mislead the reparations thing, saying this ain't right. This is you're all the experts and something we never had before popping up everywhere. So just stay on the course. You know what I'm saying? The FBA Title was working, you know. It's agreed upon title, you know. So we doing a good job. That's about it, though, bro. That's about it. Everybody's going to top it up.
Family, let me touch on something you said. Just a couple of things. You know, I find it incredibly hypocritical that they come with this concept of protecting the unsalted Nabisco from Black Americans. However, they're not going around trying to protect the unsalted Nabisco from the unsalted Nabisco. I mean, when we look at the crime stats, when we look at all the situations that goes on with the pumers in the schools and things like that, there's not an outcry for people to go and we got to do something about these Nabiscos with all the access to all these pums. We don't get that. We don't get that. So, you know, I find it highly hypocritical at best, right? But also, when you spoke on the reparations things, when you said that we have all these new so-called experts popping up about reparations, family, I want to make sure this is very, very clear. And if you don't remember nothing else I say, please remember this. Anybody who comes up speaking about reparations, if it is not what you're hearing out of the Black grassroots, they're not experts. They're infiltrators, period, point in black. I don't want to hear nothing about reparations. Could be schooling. It can be land grab. It can be all of that. But the first and foremost thing that we need to concentrate on is 1, funding. 2, protections. Now, everything else that can be included because that's what everyone else who received reparations received. They received a package. They didn't just receive one thing out of the package. No, they received a package of policies in order to make sure that they were restored. We're not going to just go for someone coming up out of nowhere, especially if we ain't never seen you before. And all of a sudden you're talking about, well, I think college tuition could be reparations. We need to go back to school and all this other nonsense. No. There is no what it should be. We already know what it should be. Period, point in black. So family, anybody coming up trying to change the narrative of what reparations should be should automatically be marked off. Let's go to the next person.
It's on you, Sister Boykin.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. Peace, power, and reparations to everyone. I am on the up and up listening to a lot of things, a lot of good things, what I can do to empower myself and everybody in my community. Listen, we got to protect our children. Our children are our legacy, period, end of discussion. We've got to look out, watch out for each other, but especially for our babies, our youth. They're our future. I put some things up in the Ovaltron about global supremacy, okay? Now, what came through my timeline was this British who had the nerve to comment on the Shiloh Hendricks situation from his posh living arrangement over in the UK. And I had to tell that so-and-so, hey, this doesn't concern you or your affairs. Keep our names and our business out of your mouth. Okay, when we're dealing with a lot of these adjacents who got the nerve to talk crap about us from thousands of miles away, and you know they share the same sentiment as their relatives here in the United States, you know that we've got to stay on code no matter what. And so, you know, it's important. We have to stay on these people. And then on top of that, another thing that I want people to understand and to make sure, I live in Washington State. It is so daggum racist up here, you'll vomit. The racists up here, the covert ones, are worse than the overt ones. Listen, I'd rather deal with the Georgia anytime, Southern fried, than these guys up here in Washington State. They try so hard to hide it. I put up something in the Jumbotron up here talking about one guy. He shall remain nameless, but his name is Pacific Northwest Conservative, and he put on blast a black woman who gave everybody the heads up. You come at me, I'm coming for you. So I basically had to tell this so-and-so, and you can go on my timeline and look at it, saying, leave black people alone, period. And with that, I yield the mic.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. My brother made a point earlier. He said, you can't bully this generation. See, there's two terms that are misunderused when we talk about, or should I say they're misused and they're underused when you start talking about the system of supremacy. Those two words are dictatorship and bullying. Okay, because that's what it is when you deal with supremacy. It's, I tell you what to do, you do it. All right. If you don't, I will bully you. That's what it's all about. Now, what happens when they can't dictate to Black Americans? What happens when they can't bully? Now you've taken everything that they possibly thought they had that goes in their power and their control, and you stripped it away from them. And that's what it's all about, is stripping away the things that they thought that they had and things that they had in previous years. That's why we say it is a different time. If you are subscribed to the Black Alpha Network, you always know I'm always saying this is the reparations generation. And when I talk about reparations, I'm not just talking about money. Yes, indeed, it's goddamn money. But let me tell you what it also is. It's repairing. It's repairing people out here get bullied, being dictated to, them talking out of line to us, them targeting our children. See, all that done got repaired. This ain't going to go down like it went down back in the day. A change of attitude can change the world. And we've had a change of attitude. Our attitude has changed, fam. And when we get an attitude change, now they done got an attitude adjustment. Go back to my previous terms about them hitting U-turns and going back the other way. And we sending a lot of that energy that they've been dictating and they've been trying to give to us. We've been packing them up, sending them out. So there used to be a time, family, where they would be handing out L's. Now we the ones handing out L's, and they just got to sit on it. They got to deal with it. They got to accept it. And I love this generation because of that. I love us targeting our energy in the right areas and taking care of what we have to take care of. And how we simply do that, y'all, is by watching each other's backs. Watching each other's backs. It ain't nothing shameful, fam, about keeping an eye on your brothers, keeping an eye on your sisters. And that's the way we supposed to handle the situation. We supposed to look after each other. We supposed to hold each other down. We supposed to direct our energy towards the opposition, opposed to pointing it at ourselves. And like my brother Church was just saying a minute ago, all these new faces that start popping up out of nowhere, that come out and they want to always have foundational Black Americans at the tip of their tongues. We've been watching them as well, so they can't really get off. Time's up for the tethers. Time's up for the dominant society. Because foundational Black Americans, we watching our six and we standing on business in the process. And when you do that, everything fall away in, y'all. So let's keep the hands going. Let's keep the hands flowing. Twizzle. Go ahead, brother. You go that and then talk to the Twizzle. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I want to highlight something you said because it needs to be stated very clear, very much so. We're not under any disillusions. The fact that anyone, if you hear anybody under any disillusions, then you should know that they're not a part of us. We've consistently, our children has consistently been the target of the WS group. Whether you look back at, you know, our brother Trayvon Martin, or go all the way back to Emmett Till. So we can't be under any disillusions about that whatsoever. That's how your children gets hurt. And that's one of the biggest issues that I have with this Black and brown coalition nonsense. You're putting a target on your children's back by saying that these people rock with you when all evidence show that these people don't. So since we know these folks have never rocked with us, there is no reason to say, well, how could this happen? I've never seen anything like this. No, this is what we see consistently. What about the young brother who was, they took his tablet and the young brother went off and they sent that young dude to jail. They're trying to give that boy years. And he has a mental health issue. They go after our most vulnerable for a reason, because they can't come after the soldiers. They can't come after the ones that stand 10 toes. So we got to make sure that people don't come around with this mindset of disillusion. Oh, I've never seen a person do the white or Black. No, they've been doing this for decades, if not centuries. Well, we're going to go with centuries because we know about the buck breaking farms and things like that. That wasn't just for the adults, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go over to Twizzle.
Hey, what's up, family? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you, family. How you doing?
No, if I complain, nobody will listen. Shout out to the room, man. Happy afternoon, happy evening to everybody else from both coasts, East, West, Midwest, and the South. Yeah, man. I'm glad you're bringing this up, man, because as we see, man, they reward violence against black people. And as you said, racism, there is no such thing as children. I was watching, somebody put up a clip of that old school movie with Matthew McConaughey when he was down south. That's so true because, as you said, 8 to 80, Brian Cripple Crazy, they don't have no remorse or any sympathy for black people or black children. And that's what society is right now. Society wants so bad to have an authority over us to where they want it back to the old rules, to where they have the authority if they're correcting us. You know, that is the unwritten rule that's still on the books and law books, and that's in America. And that's what some of these immigrants is buying for. If you don't believe me, everybody, I know y'all saw that interview Anna Navarro did when she just let her racism come out full blown. When she talked about, like, yeah, there's other people other than black Americans who are brought here other than slaves. Her racism always came out, and I always knew she was racist. And she let it came out. I know a lot of people don't agree with Sir Michael Singleton, but he stood on business. I was just waiting for him to come out. Yeah, I'm a foundational black American. I can trace my lineage past 1861. I was waiting for him to come say that because she's an immigrant. She's a fleer. She fled here. And then she had the audacity to say she's advocated for black people all her life. Like, we need your help. Like, we're puppies. Like, we're like it's like this is PETA. And we the SPCA. Man, she kind of ticked me off that it just exposed on how these immigrants want to flex their bigoted opinion and their racist antics towards black America. And they get up under, as you say, the WSs and be like, look, we're racist towards them too. We know how to fight them too. We're, you know what I mean? That's basically what they're doing. Yeah, man, shout out to you in this room. Shout out to you on this topic because as we're witnessing, they're rewarding, you know what I'm saying, violent behavior and racial behavior towards black Americans now. They just put up another clip to where they had an old man at a park talking crazy about another black child. And there was some women checking him and he's like, they're going to make this a ghetto. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy because what is your old self doing at a park where there's kids, but shit, you want to talk about the black kids? And I land my plane, man. Let's keep this ball rolling. Peace.
Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, family. All facts right there, brother. All facts. And that's a good point, fam. We're not going back and forth with them. See, black folks used to always get bogged down with debates. We want to go say, well, you do this and I do this. Fam, we got our statements, we got our knowing, and we just going to keep it pushing. I'm not sitting here. It's not in the business of me to go back and forth with these individuals about all their wrongdoings because I'm going to go ahead and give you an update on how they're going to do it. They just going to deny it. See, the whole system of supremacy is to be racist and not get caught. How can you do it and not get caught in the process? And black folks will get caught in the process of trying to debate these people and go back and forth, tick for tack. Let me tell you something about these endless goddamn debates. They keep things at a stalemate, and they love a stalemate. When you're trying to get progress and someone wants to stop you from having progress, who benefits off of the debate? Who benefits off the stalemate? They do. Because next thing you know, you're going to look up and it's going to be 30 goddamn years and you still debating whether we're owed reparations or not. See, my whole reparations plan is this. I want my money, bottom line. I'm not into how you feel about it. I don't want to break down all the goddamn statistics. All that work has been done. It's already been on the table. We done had thousands of brothers and sisters who broke it down to the decimal point. Let's proceed. The same thing with these injustices that are out here. I'm not going to go back and forth with you about Carmelo Anthony. You know goddamn well what happened. So we're going to proceed because if you're waiting for the dominant society to throw their hands up and be like, yeah, we was wrong, it ain't going to happen. That's that Edmund Pettus Bridge talk. There's something wrong with them. One day's now, they's going to wake up. They've been one daying for a billion days. And I ain't got a billion days left. Only thing I know is about getting it how it is in real time. And that's a beautiful thing about us, family. We are all about real time. We're anxious. You know, we're on it. And it's a good thing to be anxious. It's good to say, okay, I want this today. All right. You got to be a little selfish, especially when you're dealing with the system of supremacy and you're talking about black empowerment. You can't be running around here saying, well, I'm just going to wait a little bit now. Black folks will stay waiting. They'll have your ass on an IOU. And that's if they even admit that they owe you. So you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get them to acknowledge the facts. And then when you acknowledge the damn facts, they're going to put your ass on a treadmill. It's what I call the race treadmill. You're going to be running in place. And folks been running in place. See, what we did as a generation, we showed up, we pulled that goddamn cord and yanked the wall. And we said, no, we ain't going to be running in place no more. We're going to get what we got to get, how we got to get it. And I want it today. All my money. All these immigrants who come over here, they want money. You cut them a check, you put them in hotels. All right. The dominant society, they'll harm one of us and then they'll get thousands of dollars off rip. They making millionaires out of people who harm children. So if everybody else can get what they want right here today, then we can get ours right here today. I don't give a damn what the Boule got to say. I don't give a damn what Democratic Shields got to say. I'm speaking on behalf of the real ones, and the real ones are the only thing that matter. The real ones are going to be the ones that protect the children. The real ones are going to be the ones that grow, get businesses popping off the ground. Anybody other than that, quite frankly, family, is irrelevant, and we've made them all irrelevant. That's why they hate us right now. But you know what it is, family? A hate ain't nothing but a fan turned upside down. So apparently they all really just love us, but they can't beat us. Let's keep the hands flowing. I see my sister Angelic in here, so I'm going to toss it right to you. Anybody else want to come up? Come up. Let's go to work.
Hey, my sister.
Hi, how are you?
Blessed.
Good. Well, I just wanted to say hello to the family, to Queen Alpha. And I wanted to say this. I wanted to kind of give some perspective to it from how this kind of whole thing kind of started. I had heard that this female is Ukrainian. And I hadn't heard a whole lot about it. I was trying to confirm that on Google. They just keep calling her a Minnesota woman. And so I remember when Biden first let them over here. He went like when he first got in office, and when that thing popped off over in Ukraine, and he had said that it was going to be like something like 200,000 he was going to let over here. I have a feeling it was probably double that. But I remember him saying that I'm going to give them I'm going to give them SSI. I'm going to give them SSI. You don't hear a lot of people talk about, you don't hear hardly anybody talk about. Some people peep game like a couple of years later, but he said right before he first started letting them, I'm going to give him SSI. And sure enough, he did that. And then he let a bunch of them come over here. And so we saw how they were treating the Africans when we saw that beautiful beam footage of how they were treating, the Ukrainians were treating the Africans. I don't even know what the Africans were doing over there in these countries like that, these all white countries. But anyway, we saw how they were treating them. And I'm thinking, like all of us were thinking, if they think that they're going to come over here, the Ukrainians, and treat us like they treat the Africans, they got a whole nother thing coming. So they were cool. They had been cool the whole time, that as far as I know, the whole 4 years, you didn't really hear anything about them. Nothing, no problems that we knew of. And I think what happened was they just blended in with the dominant society. Unlike these other groups they flooded over here, they really just kind of blended in with them. I'll leave it there. Thank you for letting me come up and speak.
If I may, I can give some insight to what Sister Angelic Elena has said. Over here in Washington State, we got a bunch of Somalis too. In fact, the Lutheran Social Services in Minnesota collaborate with the Lutheran Social Services in Washington State to resettle them by the truckloads. And they've been doing this for 3 decades, okay? Because they do not have the social networks that we do. Okay, the Somalis that come in are too trusting, and even the Somalis who have been here as long as their Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, they're still too trusting. They still think that people are the cat's meow. So they let their kids run around and do any and everything. Whereas folks who are of the lineage and of the soil, we've been new. You don't never let your babies run around, never. You got 2-3 levels of adults guarding the babies. I say babies, I mean children. That's because I have a child myself, so I get hyper emotional. And we have to protect our kids because that is our culture. Your culture does not have any stopgap measures to protect your kids because you're too busy selling them. Whether you're selling them into slavery to pay off your debts, sending you off to slavery, or you're selling them to them predators because they want your land and the minerals inside your lands. You bring that same mentality over here, and then you got the nerve to run up on somebody black and talking crap about who we are and what we're doing. And with that, I will yield the mic.
All right.
Hey, you mind if I piggyback off that?
Go ahead, family.
And you are 100% correct. Like this money that we seeing that these Hispanics are getting, how these Hispanic women are getting $15,000 in food stamps with a $5,000 cash advance. Them Ukrainians are getting that as well. You know what I'm saying? They are getting all that free money as well, and they are part of this immigrant, and they are part of the deportation act that we need to get them up out of here too. Because last we looked, didn't they get over $300 billion in aid from that war? So what are they coming over here for? I land my plane, y'all.
Absolutely, family. And I want to touch on something because, you know, you made a very good point when you brought up the churches, because a lot of people don't even know that a lot of these churches are going over to Africa and they're starting adoption agencies. Mm-hmm. And that's how they're getting a lot of these children over here without the red tape. So when our sister Brooke was sitting here, was sitting here saying, Boykin, was saying, hey, you know, you guys don't protect your children, you sell them. Yeah, that's literally what's happening. Not just in the sense of we're selling them to the adoption agency. They will sell them to just a regular person who walks up with a little bit of cash. So you're absolutely right. You're right on point when you're speaking about the adoption situation. That right there is a real situation that needs to be looked at. But also when you brought up the Ukrainians, I do remember, and my sister Angelica, that was a great point. I do remember when Biden was talking about he was giving them Social Securities. You know what else I remember? I remember when our own HBCUs took over 100,000 of them in and housed them on our HBCU campuses. So that is something that we definitely need to look into as well. And that is 100. Let's go to Eclipse, and then we go into our brother EJ.
Hey, what's up, FBA family and my FBA brothers and sisters? And y'all speaking on nothing but facts. We have to understand that they gonna only move when we stop trying to ask and beg for them to do right. You see, we only got out of slavery and out of the Jim Crow and out of the redlining and other forms of, and then they throw the tethers out there to put in a little block for them. But like what they say in 1804, so you got to get rid of them tethers first sometimes, you know what I'm saying, before you can even deal with the supremacists. So we got to stay on code, stay strong. Man, the supremacists always been giving they people across the globe all type of benefits for the longest. You know, this ain't nothing new. They've been doing that, you know, since they gave them all of our 40 acres and a mule back then and bringing them over here with that mass invasion back then. So we just got to stay nonstop. I appreciate y'all, and I'm a land.
All right, let's go to our brother EJ. What's up with you, brother?
You know, if everybody can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, family. Trying to get like you with your snappy comebacks.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I just be freestyling like a real G supposed to. You know how FBAs get down when we be roasting tethers and stuff. We don't got to use no matches. We can just light their feet up because they so ashy. But, you know, family, this is a perfect example of, you know, us protecting our children. We can look at numerous examples of, you know, these other communities just giving their kids away like they're giving away loose change to a homeless person. See, we don't do stuff like that. We have a history of for our kids and protecting them by any means necessary. And that's why the delineation movement is so much needed within Black America. Because when you be mixing all these people in within our communities, the confusion is just so real. But the separation is real, and we do need to, you know, delineate from these people because they do that in their homelands. So why we can't do it? The vitriol they have towards each other, they bring it towards us, and they expect us to just bow down. Y'all probably heard me say that numerous times, though, but I'm going to keep saying it because them in these third world countries, they're going to be in line with the supremacists in America. You can't really separate them. You know, they practice supremacy just like the people in America do because they come from different lineages and ancestry. So they're still going to have some connection, even if they're abroad in different places. So the moral of the story is we got to be real careful when we have our kids out here, not telling them the truth about, you know, being in dangerous places at bad times, because these folks can easily run up into one of your kids' schools within our community. It's going to take all of us, you know, older people that's on code, not the bootleg crowd, who be eating biscuit crumbs for daddy's underarms. It's not gonna take them because they've been lost and turned out like a whisper song. It's gonna take real people that's on code and the few people of different lineages that have a black first mindset to get these people out of the paint. You know, everybody got to hold their own nuts in the battle against supremacy. We can't do all the work for y'all, and that's where, you know, I got a little ticked off who was on that CNN news debate when they was talking about immigration, and you had that melanated tether up there saying that illegal aliens are not criminals. See, that just goes to show you that these people have a few coconuts dropping on top of their heads. See, they don't know the difference between a person who comes into the country legally and an illegal alien savage who comes into the country illegally. They think they're the same. They might work in your third world country where some of y'all don't have clean plumbing or just food to feed your kids. But when it comes to our people in America, we know the difference. But I'm going to land my plane and just let somebody else speak. Thank y'all for letting me talk, though.
He said lost and turned out like the whispers. Shout out to you, nephew.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of great points, brother. A lot of great points. Who we got next? We got Political Hood. Political Hood, come on up.
Shout out to the family. How everybody doing this evening?
Bless family.
All right. First off, I just wanted to make this statement. If the kid is Somalia, that don't even matter. We just got to understand that this is how these people get down. They've been getting down like this since we met them. So they're going to keep doing what they're doing. And for us personally, doing the same thing, expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So what I want to do is see if I can possibly maybe offer a solution and see if we can work on some things like, what about a FBA youth center that we can fund $10 a week, $15 a week? What's that? You gonna spend that on coffee, sugar? You know what I mean? So I just want to know the family position on building us a youth center, starting with our FBA children young, getting them on code young. I just want to know what the family thought is on that.
Brother Alpha, you want to take that first? Or you want me to take that?
I'll definitely take that. That's a great idea, family. That's an absolutely great idea. And we should, quite frankly, have one in every city that is dominated, every town, every county that's dominated by foundational Black Americans from pillar to post, East Coast to West Coast. We should do that. Or if that doesn't work just independently, then like you say, we should all collectively create one. But we got to have all of that. You understand? When we start talking about the 1960s and the 1970s, the Black Panther Party, everybody knows they had a food program. And this food program was brought to you by the community. The community built it, the community served it, and they made it all happen to the point where the United States government stole it. But yes, we absolutely need to have those. I stand with anything that is empowering, not just for the foundational Black American lineage, but in particular, our foundational Black American children. This is just a new attitude and a new approach. Remember, fam, everything that's new is coming from FBA. We're the ones who are inserting new energy with a new wave, with a new approach, getting new results. We are the ones who showed up and said, that wasn't working, that wasn't working, that wasn't working. And we all know there was a lot of stuff that wasn't working in the community. Well, we got rid of all that stuff that wasn't working. And now we come up with something new, something different. And now we're out here really functioning and moving right along. So to your point, brother, I absolutely believe that we should have a youth center, but we got to make sure that it's dominated by real certified, real foundational Black American people. We got to vet anybody there because we don't want somebody to show up and they start talking about vote blue no matter who, or this is Trump's America, or what about whites, women rights? We got to make sure we vet it all and do it all properly. And I believe anything that we do properly, we'll do to the greatest, and anything we do to the greatest, that's right along our alley, man. So I hope that answers your question. You can take that as well, Church.
Yeah, family, I actually agree with it as well. I agree that we should have a FBA youth center in every city, in every state. We should have multiple FBA centers, and let's just not stop at youth centers. Let's talk about institutions in itself, right? We need multiple FBA institutions. You know, Tariq got the museum down there in LA. We need a museum in Houston. We need a museum out in Florida. We need an FBA institution wherever FBAs. So that's my feel on that, especially banks. where you can donate $1 a week. 52 weeks in a year, 52 is per person. People do that. We got $52 million. Right then and there, we can do a lot with $52 million, from creating the FBA Youth Center, always for having institutions, because it was institutions that we use in order to further our whole narrative of freedom in America in the first place. Our brother Alpha said, we got to also make sure that we have properly vetted people in these positions. This is why we're doing the delineation. When we have that vetting process done, then we can install people and insert them built.
I just wanted to, I'm not sure of the young man's name who just came up and was spoken. I don't know his name. I didn't get a chance to see his name on the thing, but
I believe that was political.
It was political. Okay, I just wanted to say to him, he said, it doesn't matter what lineage the little boy was. My thing was, how was this little boy able to just be out here by himself, defenseless, with some tatted up supremacist just rolling up on him, calling him names like that? That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, it didn't sound right. That's what I was saying. I'm like, it couldn't have been someone of the lineage, because some of the lineage that had a young child on the playground would have been there with their parents. If it was us, it would have been, you would have seen somebody's black mama and or daddy rolling up on her. Something. I'm like, why? I just didn't understand. I couldn't understand what was going on. The person who was allegedly quote unquote defending the child was a Somalian who was just recording it. So I mean, that's why I brought that up. But I do understand what the young man was saying.
There's a lot that we got to definitely see. That's a good point. You're absolutely right, my sister. Lineage always matters. It always matters. Does it change the system of supremacy? No. But does it mean that we look at these individuals and see some of their off-coded behaviors as off-brand? Hell yes. Because next thing you know, you'll pop up and the damn family might be out here saying, well, Black Americans is the problem, or Black Americans need to get it together. You know, they'll try to put it on us. They're like, oh, it wasn't really that lady. It was really Janet Jackson. Whitney Houston came back and did it to me. So you never know with these goddamn people. So yes, we got to keep it airtight, locked tight on the lineage of these individuals. And it's the thing that we've been riding with the Carmelo Anthony situation. I mean, our young brother got tethers all around him. That whole Dominique Alexander guy, that whole Next Action Network, they're setting our brother up for the railroad. It's because a lot of them are running to these tethers. One thing that we operate, and I said this in the very beginning of this space, certified Black society, what I'm always talking about. And that's all of us right here. Within foundational Black Americans, you have certifieds. And certifieds are us, the ones who know the game, who see the game, who stay on point. We conduct ourselves properly. Then you got these other Black folks. They like to run to the Democrats. They like to run to the Black and brown coalitions. They like to run to everybody that they ain't got no business running to. I believe that's what's going on with our young brother, Carmelo Anthony. I feel that his family are some of these Black folks who think that the way to save Black people is to go to Joe Biden or Barack Obama and all that. And that allows the tethers to come in. That allows the fleers and all the demos and the ops to start popping up. So what these people have to start doing, they're going to have to start really genuinely getting tapped in with the real movers and shakers in the movement, those of us who are specific and independent towards us. And what we've been doing, we've been creating a boundary around the lineage, the heritage, and those of us who are on point. We're not allowing outsiders to come in and infiltrate because they're going to put salt in the game. And we've already seen what that ends up happening. So it's very true to us to check some lineage, check some paperwork, check some hairlines, and find out what is exactly going on. Because y'all know where you see some tethers, you're going to see some MAY0s. Where you see some MAY0s, you're going to see some tethers. They're Teos. And them Teos be out there left and right. So therefore, we got to focus on them, and we got to go ahead and round about that and lock that one up. Church, I don't know if you wanted to elaborate any further. Matter of fact, political, family, I know that was your question, fam. So let me let political elaborate on that, since that was his question. And then we'll toss it back to my brother Church and spin it back around. Go ahead, political.
Yes. When it came to the lineage is the lineage. But that need to be the one that's 100% watched. But what I really jumped back in and wanted to to speak on, because church said something great when it came to the bank. Now, I've been working on something, and I don't want it to just be me, because I don't want to be quote unquote take the credit. I don't care about taking no credit. I just want the people to be good. We need to get away from these people currency. The same way that these people create Bitcoin, crypto, I'm working on creating a FBA token where Black Americans can bargain with each other and don't absolutely have to deal with money with each other, because we could just bargain. Okay, you got these products. Okay, well, I could bargain with you with these products. But then we have products that we're selling. And then we bringing in that token with the United States money, turning it into a token. And then once that token increase, then our token be worth more than that dollar. I just want to know your opinion on that.
Hey, black man, that's the only way. They control us because they print the money. But peep this though. Tim McAfee, who makes all our software, security, his whole apartment complex, because he was talking about the 20.
Hold on, brother. We're going to have to follow the line, fam. I'm going to get to you, family. We got to follow the line. We got to stay on subject now. We got to stay on subject, brother.
It is
I'll get back to you.
It's all one, brother. It's all
Be
one.
quiet, brother. Damn, we talking. It's a line.
Okay, well, you can all one by yourself because you won off the stage. And we 100 in here. We 100 in here and you 100 off the stage, homeboy.
It's always talking crazy, man. I'm bad, Black Alpha. I had to say something because they're always talking crazy, man. I don't know what wrote that dude. I'm going to just let somebody else go.
That man said, did you hear that they ended up putting A underneath his bicycle? See, Huffy really means nuclear. And when you spit on everyone, it all comes back to the community. Man, I hope it's focused.
Hey, Black Alpha, that's Chief Dusty Wolf's long lost brother right there. So I just wanted to let y'all know.
All right, let me respond to what Political was saying. We don't have the luxury to see who's going to turn out like their parents or not. That's just what it is, because every
people
single
have a
time
narrative of what the world really is.
Be quiet, dude. It ain't your turn.
I'm just telling you,
my brother. Let me land.
Look, Dusty Wolf, stop. Mute your mic, bro.
All right, so that's that. We don't have the luxury to allow our children around their children at all, especially as foundational Black Americans. We've seen with our own eyes an opportunity to be in your proximity when they get there. Same thing with children. When they get too comfortable with your child, nobody allow their children around these folks without proper supervision. And that's one. The token thing, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot smarter people than me that would say yes or no to that. My whole thing is the American dollar is what's dominating right now. Even though you can say in some instances, you can see Bitcoin disappear tomorrow. Can be spoken on in there, but since I don't know a lot about it, I've seen people lose their wallets just on a humbug, so I'm going to leave that at that. There might be somebody else who have a difference of an opinion, but me, myself personally, let's stick to whatever the going country is, because guess what? That's what's going to be backed up by the military.
Well,
let's keep it 100.
But the only thing that's going to be backed up by the military.
Yeah, if you don't mute your mic.
That's okay. He's backed up by getting dropped off the stage. Boy, they throwing me them alley-oops, family. Gosh damn. All right, listen, family. Let me reset everything. Okay, fam. First off, I'm with the whole FBA currency thing. Fam, if that's what you're working on, brother, work on it. When you get it all situated, come back to the table, then we can examine it and we can observe it, then we can move forward. But I tell everybody, we got to move and we got to operate within the system that is. See, you got a lot of people. I'm not saying you like that, brother, because it seems like you coming from a genuine point of view. However, even if it's a genuine point of view, we can't have these elongated plans of restructuring the system of America, the currency, the Federal Reserve, and the United Nations. We got to get to the bag right now, how the bag is. You got some people running around here and they have debates on what black is and who's really black and what can be black and all that. I say, unless you got 200 years of convincing everybody what black is, you better start saying foundational. you better put some foundational on it, because that's what creates the separation. Foundational Black Americans. Now, if we want to get to the bag today, then we have to use the terminologies in which we have came up with today to get where we want within the system. If you want to have a long debate, 600 years, go to China, tell them what black really means. You go to Europe, tell them what black really means, change the syllables around. I ain't got that kind of damn time. I want my money. MONEY. So we got to get to the bag right here, right now. So we got to start having ideas and everything. The great Bobby Seale, Black Panther Party co-founder, he always says, if you have an idea that's not rooted in immediate practicality, that's as good as not having one. And I'm paraphrasing slightly. Shout out to Bobby Seale. And I believe one of the things that we've done is that we've created a lot of ideas, ideologies, beliefs, and approaches that are very, very immediate, and they're very, very within the system that we operate under. They're not going to give us reparations based on something that we do that doesn't come to fruition until the year 3000. We can get it based on what we have now. It's like playing the game. I can come to somebody right now and we all sitting here and we playing chess. I can say, I'm going to beat you at chess the way the chessboard is now. I'm not going to come to you and say, see, chess really means checkers, and checkers really means monopoly. And if you change monopoly and checks around, then you got chessopoly. That ain't got that kind of time, family. Let's get to the bag right now. So for all of our ideas and all of our thoughts and approaches that we have, let's do it within the system. Okay, let's do it within the system. Let's do it within the terms that we have that empower ourselves. Let's do it within our immediate goals. Because one thing about us, and I talked about it earlier, they love when we have elongated debates. They love when we sit here and have a stalemate. They want us to sit here and have a stalemate for years, because while we're sitting here trying to come up with a 700-year plan of convincing the whole planet Earth of what black really means, they sitting here got us locked down in a state of oppression. So we got to come with what we already have and function the way we already move. And that's the real certified way. That's the way that brothers and sisters do it. Shout out to my brother Tariq. Let me send a shout out to Tariq. First off, as we're talking about doing things, everybody go donate to Tariq's museum. Everybody go donate. You got a lot of people out here and they're running around talking about Donald Trump is taking away the museums and he's stripping away black rights, but they don't do a damn thing for the only Black American museum that's real. And that's our brother Tariq Nasheed's. So everybody in here, make sure that you support, donate, and continuously donate. That is FBA Group Economics. So let's make sure that we donate to our brothers. Not hard to find. Now, back to what we're saying in terms of this situation going forward. What we have to do as a community is to continue to practice our group economics. And we have to also practice just group anything, group self-defense. I want to see some husband and wives going to the you-know-what range and popping them you-know-what things. I want to see some people sitting down with their children and teaching them about financial literacy. So when the dominant society tries to throw you that curveball, you already know how to dodge it. You already know how to move swift on your toes to get caught up with these hoes. So that's what I want to see everybody doing. The elongated plans, we'll get to that. If it's good and it's proper, it'll show itself, it'll present itself. All right, the people will choose. I quoted Bobby Seale. Let me quote Huey P. Newton. He says the people will be the ones that determine what goes and what doesn't go. So if something is good and it's strong, somebody got a great idea because everybody comes up with one, present it, and then let's work on it. But while we're working on those 30-year, 40-year, 50-year plans, let's every single day work on that 2-week plan, that 3-week plan, all right, that 4-month plan, because that is going to determine what we do in 50 years any damn way. So let's not press pause until the year 3000. Let's put in work every single day until then we'll get with everything we want in the process. Now, let's go through the hands, family. Let's keep it pushing. My sister Nikki's in here. When Nikki's here, she goes to the front of the line. So it's on you, my sister.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hold the line up. I just wanted to let you know that I support you and everything you're doing. I just wanted everybody to throw a heart up for Black Alpha. I appreciate how kind you've been to me over the years. We've been through a lot together. I appreciate everything that you do for our people. I just want everybody to just show him some love. I want to send love out to the family, everybody in the space. Now I'm going to get back to work. Love you all. Have a great day.
Shout out to you, my sister, all day. Certified salute. Y'all send some black power fist to my sister Nikki, too. Y'all send it out. Me and Nikki been riding. Hey, we've been following each other, holding each other down through a lot of funny ass people for a long time, man. So much love and respect, sister. Always. You know that, though. You know that. Much love and respect all the way. Yes, indeed. And we appreciate you, too. Much respect. We need all these different voices. And this, straight to the point. I'm glad you said that, my sister. One love, much respect. This is what we're talking about. It's going to take all of us to get to where we got to go. We got so many different minds. We got so many different people, different elements, different personalities, different characteristics. So I'm speaking from the aspect of these things are changing in our favor. Like my brother from Detroit said earlier, they can't bully us. They can't bully this generation. We stay to it. So you got brothers and sisters from everywhere. You know, the great state of Georgia, much respect. Ohio, much respect. East Coast, West Coast, you know what I'm saying? My wife from Brooklyn. Yes, indeed. So shout out to NY, but all the way across the spectrum, brothers and sisters be holding it down. We be putting our minds together. And now we're sitting here doing great things, checking lineage, watching the tethers. And let me say something earlier. Yes, we have to watch everybody's lineage. We'll never get to the point, fam, where we start easing up on that lineage stuff. Let's make this clear. And them hairlines look like they doing the moonwalk off the back of their neck because we have enough receipts to understand and identify. So we can ride and stick up for people in bad situations, and we can regulate and hairline check in the process. We are multitaskers. I think it's, is it Lamar? I think that's what it is. Lahmar. It's on you.
Yes, sir. Peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, I give props and thanks to everybody that's up on here right now, because this right here, that represents freedom and operational unity. And anything can be done that must be done with those of us right here, because we the ones who stepped up. We the ones who showing, you know, like right here, right now, I'm about it. So thanks for everybody that's on here right now, and love to everybody, respect to everybody that's on here, because we stand in unapologetically, foundationally black. I heard earlier when the brother mentioned about establishing and creating the institutions and then maintaining those institutions, anything that's done in any one city or state, whoever's doing it best should just send like a squad out to go to the other cities and find those of us who are in these other cities and then teach and replicate how they establish that particular institution so that it becomes like chapters in every city. So if there's a bank in one city, somebody who established that bank, when that bank becomes strong, then come on over here to Montgomery and teach us over here how to establish the same thing. And then because it's all within the same lane, that's going to be part of a network. Those foundational black youth centers, you know, when you start that first one and that first one starts producing the results and the kids are starting to catch on and they getting it early, they learning how to be on code, then come on over here, teach us over here so that we can establish something over here. And then when we establish it over here and we root it over here, then we coming out and we going to other cities too. Myself, anybody on here who doing something, if you need bodies, I myself am volunteering, and Black Alpha, you know what I'm saying, at some point you'll get my information. When you go on and you working and you building on something and you need another body, I'm here. And that's it. I land my plane right there.
Certified salute to you, brother. Straight up. Couldn't have said it no better. Couldn't have said it no better. Ain't nothing new around here. Y'all know how they play, but we play better. So yes, shout out to our last speaker right there. That's a lot of good points, family. And it's a message of us being in solidarity with ourselves. And I want everybody to think about that term solidarity. We always hear solidarity in terms of outsiders and people who are not of the lineage. It's always solidarity with other groups. How about solidarity amongst ourselves in terms of financial, in terms of self-defense, in terms of just relationship, kinship? How about we just keep everything inside of our community? It has been established that when we are functioning inside of our community, these people scared. They know better. See, they know better. See, we ain't them Africans or them Jamaicans or them Haitians that they'll just run up on in broad daylight. They know better with foundational Black Americans. How do you know this for a fact, family? Is because any person who comes to the United States of America from any place outside of the United States of America, they see a big drastic difference between the melanated people there and the Black people here. It is a cultural shock. It is a rude awakening. They come here, and I know because I done personally met these people, and they say, wow, I'm not used to being around darker complected people who love being darker complected. I'm not used to being around people who love their lineage, heritage, and culture. I'm not used to being around Black folks who've had success. I'm not used to being around Black folks who don't play no games. So that shows you that we different from everybody else. And if we different from everybody else, then goddamn it, move like it. Move like it. If you a winner, be a winner. If you shine, and shine. There's no shame in being self-sufficient, and there's no shame in being charismatic, arrogant, conceited about your own lineage. Everybody else is. See, they not mad about the game that's being played. They just mad that we playing it better than them. So that's the difference, and that's the way we got to keep on pushing, and that's the way we got to keep moving. And I believe that ties into what our brother was just speaking a minute ago about all of us working together, grinding together. It's a message of one, not 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a message of one. And I always tell people that certified 100, get everything wrapped up, and we get it done. We can keep going, but my brother Church, go ahead, family. You can chop it up, and then you can spin it through the hands.
Yes, sir. So one of the things that I really want to stress is that we have that take no mess energy. That's the problem. I was watching a video of some black British woman talking about how 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying would never work in the UK. Now, mind you, the album went, I think it sold 1.5 million in the UK, but her argument was because America is very much about flash and pizzazz. I got this, I got that. When you go over there, the UK, they're pretty much about being, are you humble? Are you timid enough? And just in this woman's statements and conversations, you can see they don't have that take no mess energy. So when they come over here and they see that we don't stand for a lot of stuff. You say something foul, you're going to get checked. You say something out of pocket, you're going to get put back into the pocket. And they'll look at that and say, well, you're violent. Oh, you black Americans, you're so hateful. You're so violent. You hate people. And all it is that they don't have the same energy that we have. We have that take no mess energy. We came out of the fields with that take no mess energy. Hell, we was burning down fields before we was leaving fields with that take no mess energy. So it's very important to understand that a lot of these folks don't even have the same capacity to be who they are. We have more in ourselves. We have more energy. We have more love for ourselves. We have more honor for ourselves. We have more honor for our ancestors. We have more than anything they can even fathom. And that's why when they get here, they can't fathom that we're responding to supremacy in the way we respond to supremacy, because they have never did it. And they don't plan to do it. I said on one of my broadcasts, they want you walking with your head down, because when you walk with your head down, you can't see where you're going. And foundational Black Americans, we know where we're going. We're walking with our head held to the damn sky because we know who we are. We know where we're going, and we anticipate on reaching that promised land sooner than they would ever understand. But when they get here and they see us doing that, they take that as a threat to who they are. They don't want you shining so bright because it dims out whatever light that they consider to have. So family, we got to make sure it's very, very understood that none of these people have the energy that we have. They don't have the spirit that we have. They don't have the soul that we have, that majority spirit. They don't have none of that. All they have is a visual perception of what they've been seen either on TV or heard about. And then when they get here and really see why we're doing what we're doing, they turn against us because they feel like their meal ticket is getting close to the supremacists in proximity. Our meal ticket is getting away from these supremacists and their proximity and getting our reparations.
All the way live. My brother EJ, go ahead, family.
I do want to hear what this Justin dude has to say, but I'm gonna
Thank you,
mute
brother.
my mic, and I already know what it's gonna be with him though.
Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I really respect y'all, man. You got every right to, stick up for your people, stick up for your nation, and stick up for your traditions. I want to get down to the brass tacks, so the fact.
Yeah, I need you to get past all of the misdirection. We know what you're going to do. You're going to say you like us, you love us, we're friends, you're holding us down. Let's just get past all the semantics. Say what you really want to say, that you're against reparations.
Let me say what I want to say. Okay, good, thank you. Considering the fact that the transatlantic slave trade was one giant monopoly on human energy, and just as many white Christians.
Come up with some new.
Just let me talk. Why you got to interrupt me? I didn't interrupt you. I let you talk. Okay, let me talk.
Because you're not somebody you're not someone that's
man.
worth
I'm trying to respect you. Just
go ahead, Cap. Hey, hold on, Cap. I got this. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, just as many whites were brought to this country as lifetime slaves
That's not true.
as there were blacks. And
That's not true.
now
That's not.
I want to know who owes the reparations now, because the controlled a monopoly on human energy. You can look at all the forts in the Pacific and in the Caribbean.
Okay, human energy has nothing to do with cash payment reparations. That has nothing to do. When the Red Indians got reparations, that had nothing to do with energy. That's a complete falsehood. That's a misnomer, and that's a cold lie. Okay, now.
Okay, can I just
let me do something else? You said that wasn't true.
Statement.
You came out the gate with about 4 lies. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, you can look at all the forts.
I'm not done. I'll talk, and then I'll let you respond. That's the beauty of being the host. Okay. What you're saying here now is that there were more white slaves. There were no white slaves. Okay. There's a few servants who at the end of the day all graduated into whiteness afterwards. There was no chattel slavery. They didn't actually exist in the same hardships that black Americans had to deal with. So that's a false equivalency, completely a false equivalency.
The term kidnapper was referred to Jews who kidnapped white children in Europe.
Okay. And bull is that comes out of a bull's ass, but that's not what I mean when I say you're talking bullshit. Okay.
Why don't you let me just talk? Why do you got to interrupt?
I'm talking right now, and I already gave you the rules of my stage. Okay, so this is how it goes. You will have your opportunity to talk. I am breaking down all of the 5 lies that you just told. It started off with 4, you babbled more, and then you added an extra one. Okay, so this is what is the truth. No matter what you say, no matter how many lies you come up with. I don't want to hear about it's the dude's fault. I don't want to hear about any of that. That is just a deflection because you don't want us to get reparations. All right. I don't want to hear about who controls the energy. That is a deflection because you don't want us to get reparations. I don't want to hear about the damn term kidnap. What does that have to do with reparations for foundational black Americans in the United States of America in 2025 forward? Nothing. So if you're going to have some type of blockade or hurdle that you're trying to put in front of us, it's going to have to be more clever. And quite frankly, sir, it's going to have to make sense. It's going to have to make sense because all those things are completely out of left field and it reeks of desperation. It reeks of desperation. You sound very desperate to stop us from getting reparations because I believe that reparations is getting closer. I don't think you had the same type of energy 4 or 5 years ago. You were probably one of those people who laughed at reparations 4 or 5 years ago and like, oh, they'll never get it. Now you're in here talking about energy and the definition of the word kidnap as if the context of kidnap has anything to do with reparations for foundational black Americans in the year 2025 forward. I am a reparationist. I will educate you on this subject and I will do it with facts and not desperation. Now I'll let you respond to what I said or continue your dialogue, but I want you to be factual when you speak. Go ahead.
Okay. Now,
go ahead. That's probably a double mute. Go ahead and unmute yourself again.
I'm trying here. Yeah, you can cut me off, bro. I love you still. I can't believe that you're
I love myself as say. I know me some me.
You got to cut me off like this, and not actually hear what I have to say.
You're gonna live. You're gonna be okay. You'll be all right. Me cutting you off is the least of your problems. But go ahead.
No, but I mean, I would like to actually make a statement before you cut me off.
People in hell want ice water. Okay, live, learn, and keep going. Now go ahead.
I came to this group because I thought y'all would, at least give me the chance a day to speak here.
Well, this isn't a group. First off, it's a space. It's on X. But I have the opportunity to do that as a host. And go ahead, and you're wasting your time talking about me cutting you off when you can get right into the point that I told you to say.
Right into the point. Who owes the reparations? Is it the that purchased you, or is it your fellow tribesmen that captured you in Africa and sold you to the?
Well, I don't belong to any tribes in Africa. I have nothing to do with Africa. Matter of fact, you have more or African existence than we have. As a matter of fact, we were here in this country for over 100,000 years. And last time I checked, 100,000 is longer than 60,000. So if anybody's Africa or African who has any type of connection to tribes in Africa, that would be you, sir. That would be you. We were over here in the United States of America. And who's owing us reparations? Well, that would be the United States government. Okay, the ones that sanctioned it. It has nothing to do with the family. If you have an issue with, you need to take it up with the. I am not here to be your dump truck of emotion for the problems that you have with. people. You need to take it up with them. You're not going to sucker us into some battle and misdirect and deflect off of reparations that is owed by the United States government. You're not going to throw words and hope they stick at the wall. If you have a problem, then you need to settle that amongst yourself and your community. And if you feel that you're African, then you need to talk to African people. I cannot help you with your relationship with Africa. I cannot help you with your relationship with the only thing I can do is be a very, very handsome foundational Black American and go get all of this reparations money that is belonging to me and my lineage. That makes sense to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I'm still want to know, who's ultimately responsible? Is it the people that purchased you, or is it the people that ever?
I told you, the United States government, because we built America. Reparations is nationality.
What I don't understand is that you say you built America, but at the same time, you never managed to build a single sailing craft in Africa in thousands of years that you were there.
Well, I'm not from Africa. I don't know how you don't understand. I made it very clear that you're more African than me, sir. You're far more African than me. Okay, I'm from the United States of America. Your people come from Europe. Europe and Africa are side by side. Europe is not side by side with the United States of America. You have to go over this big, big ocean called the Atlantic Ocean to get over here. And that's where my people were. My people were not in Africa at all. Okay, your people may have been there. So the African thing, that's just not going to work. Now, you may have been able to pull that with the African American, which was a creation by the Democratic Party, but the foundational Black American lineage, well, that's something different. So once again, if you have an issue with Africa, then you need to take it up with Africa, because Africa is your neighbor, not mine. No, I'm from the state of Georgia in the United States of America. That is ways away from Africa. You're from somewhere in Europe, which is backdoor neighbor of Africa. So you should talk about that. And in terms of people being captured is inconsequential to this conversation, because again, we built this country and we are belonging to the money that is owed to us, and we will come to collect that. So again, if you and Mr. Fufu have a problem, and it's for you to enjoy it. Do you understand that?
But I want to point out the fact that, you never built a single sailing craft. You never sailed on a single vessel until the slavery.
About Africa, man. When I make a point that is so clear and devastating that it obviously has you frustrated right now, the proper response wouldn't be to just regurgitate what you said 2 seconds ago. You're not going to just keep regurgitating a question that was already destroyed. It makes zero sense. If you keep going back to Africans, well, you never built a single ceiling fan in Africa. Well, neither have you. And you're African and I'm not. Okay, so again, maybe I should be asking you that question. How come you didn't build anything in Africa? Since you love Africa so much. And what's your deal with Africa? Are you having this affection for Africa because you are African? Are you a European African? Is that what you are? Or an African European? Because remember, Europe and Africa are neighbors, not America. And as a matter of fact, why are you so obsessed with Africa? And I haven't heard you say one damn thing about America. You're sounding very unpatriotic, sir. And I'm tired of these unpatriotic people. You sound like that your affection, your love, and your allegiance is to Africa, to Europe, and you have some type of problem with the all three of those are non-foundational Black American problems. Now, the reason why you keep saying the same thing over and over with a lot of frustration is because what you're saying makes no sense. And the reason why I'm talking so smooth, calm, and collective is because I'm making all the sense in the world. So I'll ask you again to tell us what you're really trying to say without mentioning Africa, which is really closer to your homeland than it is to mine. Now, go ahead, Justin.
I mean, I didn't come here to be divisive. Ultimately, I was trying to
you can't be divisive. We're not connected. You can only be divided.
Please don't interrupt me. I realize.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, listen. You can't be divisive with someone that you're not connected to. You're being divisive with Africa, which is your neighbor. Okay, so you and Africa need to work that out. I'm not being divisive at all because we're not connected. And to be honest with you, I'm questioning your allegiance to the United States of America. So again, tell us what it is. I don't need to hear about divisiveness and anything other than that. You can talk to Africa about that. But tell us directly, without saying anything else, no disclaimers or sidebars, what is your true problem? Because it seems like you're a frustrated guy who doesn't like anybody. You have a problem with Africa and you have a problem with foundational Black Americans. And we don't need that type of low vibrational frequencies in this country. All right. We already have these immigrants running around here being so anti-patriotic, and we don't need you contributing to that. So can you please up the positivity and drop all that negativity and speak to the people with some decency, because we're very decent people. Go ahead.
I was just trying. Yeah, here's the point. I was just trying to like lend.
Well, I've been waiting on the point. Go ahead. It's been 10 minutes. Go ahead.
I was trying to lend the freaking the leap and say, look, we should ultimately all come together. You don't want to like listen to me, and you just want to and take all the money. So good luck with that, brother. Because
Please get out of.
No one said anything about that. Matter of fact, that term right there that you just used, you used it and I haven't used it. Now, I want everybody to notice how he brought up that term, that KILL, and he inserted that into this conversation. I never used it one time. So as he's being intellectually destroyed with a lot of smooth, calm fashion that I'm delivering and presenting, now he's trying to throw a blanket statement on us of violence so he can try to incriminate us. I have no qualms, quarrels, or quirks with people, and I have none with African people. Apparently you do. So you can take the violence and the frustration out on the man in the mirror, or you can take the violence and the frustration out on other people. But either way, this is not the space, okay? Up with hope, down with dope. Now, I'm going to say goodbye to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I want all my foundational Black American brothers and sisters to know that Black Alpha Network is a fucking star. And that's how you handle them. Checkmate. All right, EJ, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. Come on off your mute, fam. I see you. Go ahead, bro.
They like the moonwalk across their hairlines and stuff, but it just goes to show you that he didn't come in this space to do anything constructive. He came in here to just cause confusion, but we seen him like a fake $2 bill. He was just all over the place, but he gonna run back to his premises buddies and cry in the corner. And we just seen too many characters in this space, and I'm glad that the family is up here, FBA justice. And this just goes to show you that they can't do nothing besides come into our spaces and just talk about ass and just come up with asinine talking points. Like, I think we should come together, our mayonnaise and your fried chicken together. We'll be a combination, bro. I mean, you should forget about reparations. Like, it's that type of ish that these folks have been talking about for the longest in these spaces. Like, go handle your problems with the overdoses in your country and in your countries where your ancestors come from. Go worry about your kids. We got enough problems in our community when it comes to our kids getting racially discriminated, getting by these race soldiers. They're just doing the same thing that they always do in these spaces. And some of these people are not even qualified to Velcro, and they definitely do not need to be having anything sharp around them. I feel for their kids, man. Y'all don't need to be having no lighters, no matches around y'all at the barbecue. Y'all liable to cut yourself out eating potato salad. But besides that, I'm just going to land my plane and let somebody else talk.
Appreciate you, brother, all day. I was seeing that hand up, brother. I was ready to get to. Family, everybody listening, I want y'all to notice how I strategically and methodically broke all of that down, okay? I'm going to make some key points. I want you to follow me now. First off, he tried to come in here with all the semantics about friendship and all that. And I just go ahead, let's skip that. You go ahead and tell us what you really want to say. And then he admitted it. He was like, okay, yeah, I'm about none of that. I want to get straight to the point. Well, go ahead, get straight to the point. And your point is opposition, all right? And then notice when he started to try to put the jacket on us, I deflected that. Okay, we're not going to say, oh, well, we got a problem with these people and all that. Then he tried to hit us with the African thing. See, they know that we are so certified, and they don't think that we're aware of all their tactics. Remember, y'all, they only got 3 tactics, and they just keep regurgitating them and going back and forth and back and back and forth and forth and back. None of that has any type of bearings on what we're doing. And I stayed directly to what it needs to be. He was getting frustrated. He was getting upset. See, when you're living in a time frame where Black Americans have no emotion and we're strictly business, you get that destroy that you just heard right there. Now, when there was a time where Black folks were running around here overly explaining, overly emotional, then you got what you got from the Yes We Can era, the Barack Obama era, and all those other eras. See, now we're moving to the time frame where it's about reparations, okay? I don't need to hear about the deflections. I don't need to hear about the misdirections. I don't need to hear about your low frequency energy. And notice this as well, family. He was trying to put this bad vibration in this space. And me pointing that out really frustrated him. He didn't like the fact that he came in here thinking he was going to play the angel, and then he ended up leaving and he was playing the criminal. And this is how we handle these people. They're used to making these accusations towards us, but simply by their demonstrations of behavior, we put those jackets back on them. And it's something that they don't know what to do. It's like a fish out of water, very, very shook. And then when all that failed, all the babbling, all the tactics failed and crashed out, then he starts saying, well, y'all just want to KL people. And then I stopped that, shut that down, and I let everybody know that that term was not used at all in this conversation until he inserted it. Okay, so the fact that he's the one who brought that up and put that on the table, that means that's how he feels. So the tactic of criminalizing us, the tactic of low frequency, and the tactic of Africa, none of that worked at all. And also remember, you guys, the whole Africa thing, well, you know, I simply told them that who's closer to Africa? Our ancestors come from right here in the United States of America. And I even gave him a geographical location right across the Atlantic Ocean, right here in the great state of Georgia. My brother EJ know what I'm talking about. And that is nowhere near Africa. However, Europe is right there next to Africa, to the point where you got a lot of people coming here to the United States this week from South Africa, and they're of European descent. So when you start talking about who's the African here, we got to go ahead and start saying it. Are the Europeans more African than the foundational Black Americans? You damn right they are. Now, what happens when they can't Africanize us? Then they can't tell us to go home. Then they can't say they're more patriotic. Then they can't say that they know more about America. I forced him to have to acknowledge the fact that foundational Black Americans, certified Black society, are as American as it gets. And he is as African as it gets. And it ain't no fun when the you-know-what got the you-know-what. Checkmate. My brother Rose City, shout out to Texas. Brother, it's on you, family.
Yo, what's up, family? Do y'all hear me?
I hear you perfect, my good brother.
All right. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all holding me down while I was at work, baby. God damn, boy. I swear to God, this room sounds like the #1 movie in the nation right now. This ain't number sinners on the damn Twitter space. You done had every single damn group known to man come in this room and try to sway y'all from our agenda. They come in there, and I swear, man, I'm sitting here listening to that last dude, man. I don't know what he was thinking about. And all those damn tethers. Oh, my Lord. I'm sitting there listening to them cats. I couldn't help. I had to hit you on the DM on that Alpha, man. That was hilarious. I had to hit you on that one, bro. Especially the fajita players. That dude that keep calling Tariq with like 17 goddamn identities. Yeah, I knew who he was when I heard his voice. Goddamn, man, I enjoyed the space, man. I appreciate y'all letting me hold it down at work, man. Y'all keep doing the good work, baby, and I'm going to stick with y'all and keep putting my 2 cents in. Try to help out as much as I can, so I'll hold it down. Y'all be easy.
Shout out to my brother right there. That's my brother right there. Y'all follow Rose City. Shout out to you, fam. Certified. Salute. All right, let me get to some more speakers in here. FH, go ahead. IGZ Clothing. You've been in here for a long time, but you ain't said nothing. Go ahead.
Hey, what about Black Alpha? You know how you have all these immigrants in New York? I actually had one literally come to my door. Can't speak a lick of English, but yet is delivering food. This is sickening. I also have a cosplaying tether literally at my job, literally going around telling how his people are the ones, like, you know, immigrants are the ones who can build the country and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, these people say that it's just a lot of fatigue. It's like everywhere I go, people are starting to realize that foundational Black Americans are not playing around at all. They're starting to become more alert. Somebody literally also asked me, do I know what a goddamn FBA? Because the thing is, since I have locks, they think I'm Caribbean. So they talk to me like I'm trying to talk to me like I'm Caribbean and shit like that. And so when I tell them I'm like, I am a foundational Black American, it's like they go silent. They turn into a ghost. It's pretty funny. I love your space, bro. I watch you when I'm at work. I try to catch you as much as possible.
Appreciate you, fam. Get your hustle on, man. Get your hustle on. I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you. All right, let me get to the next speaker. I cannot pronounce your name. It got Kaba in it, but go ahead.
Aquet Kaba S. Unk.
There you go. Go ahead.
Ashe. You know, I turned it on and I'm just listening, and hey, I was wondering where y'all was at. My brothers and sisters was at. Now I see where you at right here. I know in the movement, everybody is talking about Teray and what he's doing in Burkina Faso. And it's all good that what he's doing for his people in Burkina Faso. But like I tell brothers and sisters, my family is from right here in the Americas. He's talking about taking over a country in a continent. We are taking over a continent altogether. You see what I'm saying? And then he's going to turn around. I know brothers and sisters use that excuse that think that it's okay for you to turn around and group with your oppressor. It is never okay. It is never okay. And then the brother told me the other day, we supposed to do what they do. We don't do what they do. We are better than they are, right? This is our land. This is our country. Even the Impressions wrote a song about it. The sister wanted to debate me about it in New York. She still don't want to come back and talk to how I can say this is my country. I am what the my ancestors come from North Carolina. We didn't come here on a slave I can give you my DNA or whatever. I'm not giving you my DNA, but I already know who I am. That's the problem right there. And brothers and sisters don't even realize everything that go on. Motherfuckers came over here with us. We was already straight. They didn't even get a constitution together until what, 17 or whatever? We had our own committee or whatever we do. We was running out everything that we needed for ourselves. They were so in hatred that they turned around. We have been fighting for decades. When have not the black man and the black woman have not been in chaos? And like he said, and every time we turn around, we got to sit around and act like we got to compete with or have this old fake, funny stuff or what's going on. We are the God and goddesses to walk this earth. We have to go back to our natural roots of our culture. And we had it right here in the Americas. We believe in nature. At one time, it was okay for you to commune out there with nature. You don't know what it feels like when you go out there and hug a tree. Try it sometime. Take your shoes off. Go out there and hug a tree. And just hug it and breathe. How you not want to tune with nature. You hear what them birds are saying? You know what they saying over there. You know everything. You even understand other languages. You think you know, but it's there, baby. It's there. Try yourself sometime. Test yourself sometimes. Our ancestors is good. We are good. And we are the Americans. We indigenous land. We need the whole goddamn.
I gotta land your plane. I gotta land your plane.
Everywhere. Thank you. And I yield. Thank you for letting me share. And I'm just happy I'm home.
All right. I'm home too. All right, y'all.
Black Alpha. This is
Go
one
ahead,
more thing
brother.
I had to say. Did you hear about DJ Academics?
No, what happened?
Bro, you know this man literally ratted his own family out on how they're illegal immigrants?
Oh, that's how them tethers be doing. No loyalty.
Bro, he told this, he said, it's been 20 years. 20 years. I've been here for over 20 years. My mother paid some nobody, like 10K, just so they would become citizens. I haven't renewed my passport in years, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's two things about a tether. You're gonna see tethers is gonna be snitching and disloyal, and they always gonna have some type of domestic violence charge. You name the tether. They got some weird issue with females. That's just how them tethers be. And don't he have a couple little issues with females, right? Some charges, if I'm
He
not
got
mistaken.
plenty.
Like young girls. So yeah, real weird type of behavior right there. FH, I see you back on here. FH,
Yes,
go ahead.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I kind of hit the mic in the first quarter. We kind of in the third or fourth, so I try to stay on topic. You all are doing an awesome job. You're really cooking tonight. And concerning reparations, we really need that. But I think one of our biggest problems is that some of our black politicians, they're actually afraid of white people. And that's a shame. I'm working on a youth offenders bill here in Tampa, Florida. I'm originally from Jimmy Carter's country, West Georgia. And my family didn't flee but migrated to California, New Jersey, New York, and whatnot. But anyway, I'm working on this useful offenders bill here in Tampa, and I called the House of Representatives, a black lady, talked to her today, told her what I was trying to do, and it was like somebody she went like, oh, you trying to do a bill? You know, they just take bills and throw bills out and whoa. I'm like, oh my God. And then I told her, I said, oh, by the way, I talked to the governor's office today, and they're looking at working with me. I talked with another Republican, Senator Woo, and I was supposed to meet him Sunday morning. I guess it just freaked her out. But I land my plane. You know, it's a shame that, you know, we just got black people and they shouldn't be in the position they're in because they cannot even represent themselves, let alone represent me or anybody. So I'll land my plane with that. And you all are doing an awesome job. And I'm a baby boomer. And be honest with you, for about the last 25, 30 years, I couldn't even talk to black people when it came to politics because they was so stuck on this Democratic plantation. And another thing, I would talk to white people about what's going on with black people. Guess what? They know. They know what's going on with us is not right. But they're not going to say it openly to other people. So I'll land my plane there. Okay?
Much respect, brother. Much respect. And what you were talking about right there is those scared Negroes. And they're just as scared now as they were back in the day. But you know what? The good thing is, and I appreciate how you handle that. When you seen that they were scared, you identified it and you make them more scared.
Oh, yeah. Because
they gonna be...
I know she was wondering, how did he get the governor's office? How did he get, and I'm talking to the guy I'm meeting Sunday morning, he's on the Judiciary Committee, and he's a senator. But I'm going to tell you something. What I see, and I try to tell black folks, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. You got to be able to, you know, these people, if you're a Democrat, if you got any sense, you should be able to operate in the paint with these people. You got to adjust. You got to move. You can't just keep going in the same direction. And I'll land my plane. They just don't get it. Jeez.
Much respect. Where you say your people's originally from? Where your people from?
West Georgia, Jet Plains, Georgia, Americus, Georgia, DeSoto, all those little towns are right there together. All been the state is just about 25 miles away. And my mother, she married a guy here in Tampa. So my grandmother and my grandfather raised me in a little town called DeSoto, which is all plains too. So when I finished high school, I moved down here. And one thing I noticed, because I'm a baby boomer, when I moved here, sometimes I had to mix two cultures. I had to mix this culture with my southern country culture. And I find out that some people get caught up and they only know one way to do stuff. And I sit back and look sometimes and just laugh because this senator, this House of Representatives, I know it freaked her out. And she wondered, well, how did he do this? And then, you know, I tell people, the Republicans are more apt to talk to me than the Democrats. So if they want to talk to me, I'm going to. And another thing, am I talking too much?
Just go ahead and give me your last little.
No, I'll land my plane. I'll land my plane because I can't be talking. I'll land my plane. Thank you.
Shout out to you and your people from West Georgia, man. You're talking to a brother right here from East Georgia. So much respect, family.
Okay.
All right. Okay, family. Church, I got you back up here. Yes, indeed.
Hey, man,
go ahead, family.
They can't keep a good brother down. As soon as we got done talking about the Karen Bass situation, as soon as I landed with the Karen Bass situation, all of a sudden my got cut out. I got thrown off of the situation. Like Elon, I don't know where Elon's going with this. I don't know whether it's Elon or whether it's his AI company. I don't know. But I do know that as soon as we're talking about it or whatever the situation is, for some reason, all of a sudden, I get kicked the hell off. You know what? It is what it is. I'm appreciative to be back. There were so many great takes while I was gone. I was listening to all of them, trying to get back up here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, family, especially with our brother from Georgia, man, I've been in tears. I've been in tears. He was like, am I talking too much, family? And I want to say this too, just real quick. Much love to everybody that's really, really humble about them saying what they want to say. They know that there's a lot that they want to say because they haven't been around the family, right? They haven't been around people who speaking the same way they speak, who has those same political views as they have. Everybody's been most likely probably making them look crazy as well. And that was one of my major things about you when I found you, Black Alpha, on your whole YouTube page. Let's keep it 100. That's why I said I love the B1 sound off, because people around the country is now able to see you're not crazy. You're not alone. There are other people who think just like you think, who are saying things just like you're saying things. You know, it's just about standing 10 toes down. See, the universe is very absolute, family, very absolute. And the universe is not going to put you into our spaces if you're not sure about yourself yet. They're usually going to put you in these spaces if you need to get checked, if you're saying some stuff that's disrespect, or if you've already found your home. Let's be 100% honest. And so when I heard our sister come up and she was so excited, I know she wasn't trying to speak overly speak or things like that. But what she was doing was she was so excited because of the fact that after all this time, she ain't been finding people speaking the way Black Alpha speak. She ain't been finding people speaking the way our sister Miriam speak, our sister Nikki, the church, Eric Johnson, he out here. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot that people really appreciate by like literally jumping into spaces like this. So this should be a very empowering space for everyone. You should put it and internalize it into your mind that if you're speaking out for your people, you will find people who also speak out for your people. If you're actually trying to hold the code, guess what? You're going to also find people who hold the code. And while you're doing that, you'll be more at peace. You'll be more happy. You'll be less stressful, because all those things that you thought that people wasn't paying attention to because other people were gaslighting you, you find right here that we're not those people. And you're not crazy. We do everything that we do because we're not crazy. We know what's going on. And everybody else wants you to live in a psychosis. Shout out to our grandmaster teacher, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. They literally want you living in a psychosis. This is why even when Black Alpha just masterfully just slapped down that man, you get what I'm saying? It was all about, hey, okay, talk to me. No. Talk to me. And the more they talk, the more you're able to see how either bigoted they are, how much of a tether they are, how much of a Bruce Fleroy they are. They're showing their cards. And all you have to do is let them speak. I that back over to you, my brother.
Yes, indeed. All day, family. Foundational Black Americans, we are the only ones because we the one and only. Yes, indeed. But we done ran, I don't know how many tethers, fam. This may be the record for tethers that we've ran out of these spaces. Ops, every one of them. I mean, you name them, they done came up on this stage, and each and every one of us got a piece. So, you know, that's just the way foundational Black Americans get down. That's just the way foundational Black Americans move. And when foundational Black Americans show up, we show out. Shout out to the whole family, FBA family tree, through and through and through. Shout out to my brother EJ. Shout out to my brother EJ's bamboo stick. I mean, it's just a beautiful day to be FBA, family. It's just a beautiful day to be FBA. All y'all, I need everybody in the space right now. Go over to YouTube right now. Subscribe to the Black Alpha Network right now. While you here, go over there. Subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. It takes 2 seconds. Swing on over there. It's the hottest thing in town. We run the game. #1 activist, shutting it down, Certified Black Society. Come be a part of Certified Black Society, the best chat in the world, man. And y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my brother Church. I send a special certified salute to the whole family. It was good in here putting in work, y'all. We gonna continue to bring it. Can't leave rap alone. The game needs me. So we gonna continue to bring these spaces, man. We gonna chop it up. We gonna make this summer hotter than what it already was. And tethers better beware, because FBA on that. Certified salute, y'all. Enjoy your day. I will catch y'all later. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love. Certified.